Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of I'll start again. Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of the 10-minute Moans. No, it's not. This is alive. And what we're going to do, split into two. John will be on in a minute. He's just finished and getting his makeup done, I think. And he's got a bit of an announcement to make that he wants to share with everybody. And then we'll open it up and we'll get some of the usual suspects in, no doubt. And we will get open it up to any callers that want to come in and tell us, Houston, we have a problem. Did John have enough maritime, Craig? No, mate. He's nuts, right? I spoke to him today. Do you want to do this so you can plug your thing? Yes, that's a great idea. When will you be home? Round about 7. When will I make the thing go live? Make it live for 7:15. It's nearly 20 past, but that's what I get. So while we're waiting on John, we'll just what's going on here? Just make sure got everything working. Get the comments to come up, and they should start showing now. If you want to smash in with your comments, anybody get any questions? We'll just do them just now while we wait for them. And evening, everybody. Loads of names that we recognise that are in almost every time, I think. And can't rush John, man. Aye, you're right. Can't rush him. Oi, Craig. Oi, truck spotting. Good evening, troops. Usual such. Here, wait, hold on. Right, we'll get the drum roll ready. Right, he's greeting us with his presence. 4 minutes late. So, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Kev the Ranter.
I'm not Kev.
John, it's yourself.
I'm sitting here with the drum roll and all that. Why is it an echo?
Oh, because I've not got my sticking his phones on. You know
me like that with the drum roll and all that.
It's not a show if I don't have an IT issue. That's Connor, isn't it? Save our future, save our kids.
Aye.
Jump in, Connor.
Phone me, Connor. I need a phone call for you. We need to chat. I'm getting stressed.
He's terrible with phone. I don't know why he bothers having a phone. Right? Anyway. Right, John. So, we try to get you a wee bit of space on the last one we done, which was a protest special, but unfortunately we get kind of caught up in some nonsense and we finished it abruptly. So, what do you want to share with us?
Nothing. You invited me. Honours, mate. Where do I start?
Talk about Glasgow. I mean, see if you take, I'll give you a step for a hint, right? See if you read the title. It says, live call-in with John Watt, bring the noise with a massive Glasgow announcement.
No. Well, we've announced that we're doing this event on the 20th in Buchanan Gallery Steps at 1 p.m. So it's basically, it'll be 2 weeks. How dare you? And it'll be in 2 weeks on Saturday. So I think obviously this weekend you've got Holyrood, which they're doing a protest there. I won't be able to make that one. And then the week after we've got the United Kingdom free speech one. And then a week after that. So a lot of people probably won't be able to make London. So why not put something on in Glasgow? Some people might not agree with the man down there, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's time that Glasgow started to rise, if you want to call it, and people start to make a change. So that's pretty much it, mate. I'm working hard in the background to try and get as many people in as possible. So we've got some good speakers waiting on a few to be announced. And try to get a bagpiper, trying to get a few things organised that some people can't commit to, but right now, a lot of things. So we'll hopefully make it powerful. So if anyone knows a bagpiper out there or a drummer, then please do get in touch. That would be willing to come along and bring the noises, I like to say. But it's hopefully we'll put something on really powerful, Craig, and it's about a bit of inspiration. It's trying to give people hope at the same time. And like I said, if you're the kind of person that's worried about the future of your country, you're the kind of person that's lost faith in politics, politicians, lost faith in the system, lost faith in the mainstream media, feel that, you know, the future doesn't look bright for us all, then get yourself along and, you know, stand with people, fellow people that feel the exact same way, and get your voice out, get my voice out, get Connor's voice, get many, it says in the poster, don't know if you can get the poster up, it says, there you go, many issues, one problem. It's time for Scotland to unite, put your differences aside, everything aside, and hopefully people will unite over the future for us all. So that's where I'm at, Craig. So what's your thoughts? If you're even listening to me. Is he froze?
I'm listening.
You're
I'm
clutching
about in the background with some buttons, mate.
It's like dealing with a 5-year-old. Like you're sitting there and you've got your internet is flying out the window again. Basically,
my internet's fine, mate. Don't you worry about me.
Is it? I don't think it is. It's running slow. I'm just trying to double check mine. Mine's is doing all right. You're about 3 days behind.
You're in black and white.
Carry on.
I'm giving you the floor.
Take that poster out, because that's what makes it slow. So
it's no. It's all the other stuff I've got in the background that I'm closing it now while you're talking.
You need to shut the window. I'll stop letting the Wi-Fi out the window. It's been a few days since the last one. I'll jump on. I don't know. I put out part 1 of Connor's protest at the weekend. So they done part 1, which was in the town centre. So I put that out last night on my YouTube. I haven't even checked it to see what the views are. And then tomorrow I'll put out part 2, which was outside the hotel, which is the one that you were at as well. So I'll put that out, and again, just interviewing the locals and stuff, and the Falkirk. But you know, Craig, we've went up and we've supported people up in Aberdeen, Peterhead, you know, Falkirk, Perth. Where else you been, Craig? You've been everywhere else. We've came out.
Ballymena, Manchester, London.
So we're hoping
Edinburgh.
that people will come and support us. You know, we've covered so many topics. So how many of us can now all come together to go, right, you know what, we need to support these guys, and we need to now, you know, because my worry is that why would you want to counter protest this one? I don't get it. There's going to be many issues on the stage, right? But if they're going to...
Because they do. It's just some people's hobby. Some people play golf. Some are mad lefty protesters. Now, I'll give you an idea, John. See the anti-protesters, right? The one that really done it for me was Manchester when I was there for it. Was one topic, Manchester, and it was about child safety, and there was people who had been survivors of child abuse talking at that, and the anti-protesters turned up at that, and you think, what? And then when we were in Aberdeen, I think I pointed it out to you. The hotel was across the road from residential property, and you had interviewed that girl telling you how terrible that area was to live in, right? So that's why the locals took to the street. So the counter-protesters are standing outside that hotel. They obviously are quite happy, these people to be in the hotel, but they were shouting Free Palestine. And I'm like, there's no Palestinians in there. No. So it just goes to prove. And remember I pointed you at a banner that was about billionaires and stuff. You're like, that's got nothing to do with the asylum hotels. So they don't actually know what they're protesting about or against. They're out protesting.
When you go back to that young girl's interview, I go on TikTok and that and do it. I actually need to figure out, because there's a thing called TikTok Studio, and I need to link this so that people on TikTok will see me and you doing this. And we'll do that coming up to the 20th. But one of the guys that was on TikTok was like, well, why didn't that young girl go out and stand with the protesters? And I went, do you not get it? I says, that makes her now a target. If someone sees her that works and that lives in that hotel and they see a protest, and then that girl who literally stays across the road, like it was, you could see the hotel behind me, right? And that's where they were coming out.
What I'm going to do, there's people filling up the room already to come up and talk, right? What we're not going to do is do what we've done the last one that ended up carnage.
Yeah, I think we should only bring one or two callers.
This isn't the first one. What do you call it? The rota is William, Monty, and then Kev. But to be fair to William and Monty, Kev's out doing a bit of raving reporting. I think he's got a live report to tell us from what he's up to today. So I'm going to bring Kev in first, guys, and then go to William and then Monty. So, Kev, is that you? Are you reporting on your live duties just now? Are you phoning in with a report?
No, not just yet, mate. All
right, cheery bye then. Right.
What a wank. All you say, you fucking pair of bell ends. You know what?
Fuck you. Kev, I'm not in control of the button, mate. He's got the button.
You're sitting laughing and you're encouraging it.
Jesus. No, not all.
Bastards. And I know it's your channel and you don't like swearing, but no what? Fuck the two yous.
Right.
That's enough. You'll get me popped up.
I know, mate, sorry.
Right. Oh, it was brilliant. I could just imagine what you were saying. Anyway, Kev, just to get you up so we get up to speed, you are going out on a mission tonight, is that right?
Mate, yes.
When are you going in your mission?
I'm leaving here in the next hour.
Right, okay.
I'm going to do a short video, and I'm going to do something on the steps of that building. I'm not want to say too much right now, as you know.
Right. The show. Well, sorry, with Gio's part of the show, he's only going to be on for about an hour and a half tops, right? So he'll be up in and out by maybe 8:15. Would that be 8:30 time? So we'll see how we're going, Kev. Keep us informed of what's going on, and why don't you just go the new?
I'm just jumping in the bath again, so I've had a lot on the days.
He's a splash, Kev. He's a
splash. No, I'm not in the bath yet, John. I know that's going to turn you on. Know what I mean?
This was the first time Kev ever turned his camera on. That would be pretty.
Do you know what? Did you see that video part? I had to, right, big Mr. Incognito, and I had to. I remember I'm at to you. I says, I'm doing the video part 2 at Falkirk. I remember the bit. He's like, "Oh, here he is." He used to come at the camera and just walks right in, and I was like, Jesus.
We were doing an interview. He's like, all right, guys, for that Kev.
There's videos out of there anyway. I was getting the boy the Herald at Stinking. My name's in the Mirror as well. The Mail on Sunday. So
your name's in it?
Aye.
What did they call you?
Well, Denzel. To be fair,
you've got to do that the next time somebody asks you for a comment. Say what's your name? Say Denzel.
Well, I'll do that next time. Aye. Not to be fair, the guy for the Mirror's actually been on. Actually took note of what I said, and he's actually reported it right. So I'm going to give that guy for the Mirror Mail on Sunday a bit of credit on that one. So fair play to him for doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Good. Have you got a copy of the thing that you were in then?
I have got.
Send us that.
I'll send you it through again.
All right, mate. I'm going to bring William up. When are you going to now?
Well, I just dropped me down, mate, because I'm going to jump in the bath and that anyway. So I'll just listen to you as well.
Too much.
I know. And I'll keep you posted. I'll give you a text when I get back.
Can I ask you just one thing?
Aye.
What's 6'1" good looking and kicks his pals? William, how are you?
6'3". Craig, I'm 6'3".
Houston, we have a problem.
Go on yourself, William. What's your problem, sir?
Digital ID.
Oh, William, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I shared a video on my Twitter today of someone calling in LBC, and I was saying to myself, I recognise that voice. That wasn't you by any chance, was it?
Yeah, that was me. Basically, that was just incredible. You know, I wake up this morning and it's all about this digital ID, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I was falling off my chair, so I was just saying to Nick, "This is a joke." I mean, digital ID. These guys are having us on. I mean, it's incredible. Nearly everybody and their dog knows that digital ID is bad news, and they're actually coming out with a straight face and saying, "This is what we're doing now." It's incredible.
Volume 2 sec. Craig, is there any chance you could pull up my X and you can hear William on LBC this morning?
You can do it because you'll find it easier.
Oh, I don't know how to do all this, mate. I'm too
so I have to do all the hard craft.
Well, you're the guy that set up your studio and all that. You've got the studio and all that.
So, right, I'm the gaffer and the gopher at the same time. Right?
No, but what I'm saying is that William called up LBC this morning and I shared it. I was actually, I shared the post on X, and it's interesting to see how LBC tackled William. Hold on, I'll try and send you it.
You can get it on the TikTok account. Go on, William. It's there's only
I'm gonna send. I don't know, Craig. I'll send you in a DM.
But yeah, is this the one you've got? Well done, William. Is that?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think I can share this. Give me a wee second. We have the technology somewhere. Right. So if I do that. I do that, and I do that. Right. Tell me, is this the one here, John?
That's the one. Let's listen to William give it to LBC.
Right.
ID.
William's in Alloa. William, ready to get digital ID? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. This is absolutely hilarious. Digital ID.
They're not going to control what I buy.
No sound.
The sound on our
digital ID. Good morning.
Good morning.
No, we can.
Good morning, Nick. This is absolutely hilarious. Digital ID. The people in the government must think that we're buttoned up the back. I mean, come on. This is an absolute joke, isn't it?
Why, Monsieur Macron?
It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute farce, because unless you've been hiding the last few years, you surely can't have seen that. You surely must have seen that everyone's been telling you about digital ID and how it's the end of human freedom, because digital ID, once you combine it with a social credit system, will enable the government to control your access to society based upon your level of compliance to society. They think we're stupid. We see through their scam. This is clear problem, reaction, solution. The people ain't going to buy it, and you guys, I'm talking about the politicians, you are a joke.
How will they control our access to society?
Because, Nick, if you think about it, the digital ID is it's not a choice. You need to have it. And when you combine that with a social credit system, that means that they can then control what you buy. They can control where you go. And right now, we have freedom of movement. And we have economic freedom. And we must push back against this.
How will they control what I buy if I have digital ID, if I want to go to the supermarket, or if I want to go and buy, I don't know, some clothing? They're not going to control what I buy.
Nick, I've got a lot of love for you, but you surely must have seen this. The whole threat of the social credit system, the Great Reset.
But you haven't answered the question.
Wrote about.
How will they stop me shopping in Sainsbury's or Asda or Lidl? They won't.
Because when you combine the digital ID with a central bank digital currency and a social credit system, they will say, okay, Nick's already bought a ribeye steak this week. His choice is either a Beyond Meat burger or a Locust burger. And that's the threat of digital ID.
Why would they care whether I'm eating a burger or not?
Well, this is their plan. This is the plan for the New World Order. They want you controlled. They want you to have a digital ID because this is so key to their plans, and people are awake and aware to their deception and corruption. It's an absolute. I just say to the government, come on then, give us your digital ID. Just try it, because it's just...
Strong language. Thank you, William. Let's see if others agree.
William say a naughty word there.
No, I thought
I said shyster, and they used the delay so that it didn't go out. I didn't realise that wasn't allowed on the radio. If I knew that, I wouldn't have said it.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why they kicked you off?
Why?
Because you're talking a language that they can't understand. Let me explain, right? And let's say it's talking Chinese, right? So me and John are at a 0 in talking Chinese, and you know everything about Chinese, so you're talking at a 10, right? So if you come in and talk to me and John at a 0 to 1 in Chinese, we'll go, oh, we kind of get it. And before you know it, we're at a 1 to a 2. And you come back again and you talk to us at a 3 or a 4. We're eventually coming up the scale. But when you walk into a room with somebody that's at 0, and you're talking at a 10, they can't comprehend. And they just will never get, no people that are not at, if you're talking at a 10 and they're at about a 3 or a 4, they're never going to get me. And I kind of think I can see it a lot when people get talking about, let's call them conspiracy theories, right? That you just go, can't get it, don't get it. It says words like New World Order. I can't understand that. I've stopped listening. And I kind of think that's where we are with a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, so what's the solution? That I just talk slower? Because the thing is, you've only got maximum 3 minutes on that.
Yeah, but we've got digital ID to New World Order's controlling every single aspect of their life. That's a big jump for somebody that doesn't know what the digital ID problem is. You with me?
Yeah.
John, you don't need to put your hand on me.
But for me, talking on the radio and on the television, it's like whispering through bars. What you do on your channel, you're free. You're not whispering. You're talking. You're sometimes, but on the radio and TV,
I'm not free, William. I'm going under a bit of a ban now because YouTube are not putting the stats that I'm producing now for the amount of people that are clicking on, they see a thumbnail and they watch the video, and the stats for the amount of video they watch is very, very high. But my impressions are as low as I've ever been, which doesn't make sense because when your click-through rate, they call it, is good, and your watch ratio is good, they should be driving that to loads of people. But the bit that they've got to do is get put impressions is at absolutely the lowest I've ever seen it. So I'm no free. Nobody is.
I hear you. Listen, the last time I was on, me and John were kind of going in depth and stuff, but I've got a question for you, Craig, and you, John, and a question for everyone in the chat. So right now we're having a conversation we're touching on digital ID. One of the questions I have is, who is involved above governments? So if you rewind, think about gender ideology. There was the gender certificate. That was happening in other countries at the same time. It was happening in Spain. Mm-hmm. It was happening in Canada. Mm-hmm. And you look at digital ID, it's being rolled out in Australia. So it's happening globally. So that tells me there's a group or there's a structure, whether it's the United Nations, that exists above governments, and they dictate to the government what the agenda is. And we heard from Dominic Cummings was telling us, these guys are just reading a script. The whole thing's a charade. So who are these people that are above governments and telling the governments what to do? Because you would have thought government is by the people, for the people. From a lefty perspective, it seems it's by the corporations, for the corporations, but I think it's beyond corporations. So can someone tell me, who is this group? Who's in this whatever? And do you resonate with this?
I'll answer your question. What is it you said there, what?
Do you resonate with this? Because I'm just trying to work this out, and I don't have an answer. Who these people are.
See, I don't know. See, big words like resonate. I don't understand what it means in the context. If you ask me again,
resonate is like vibe. Are you feeling it, or are you just like, what's this? Not like a line, yeah.
Right. If you listen to me, what I don't do is I don't try to be David Icke. Right. I try to present facts to people, and I try to leave the viewer with enough respect to use their own thoughts and imagination. Because that's the choices we've got. If you try to put something out that folk don't understand, you can either come on and say, Aaron's going to disappear and the Queen's a lizard, right? Well, what you can do is you can do things that I do. And you must have heard me saying this if you watch any of my videos. And I've said it loads of times. What I don't understand things like the Scottish government decided one day that you could just become a woman if you're a man, right? And that's a bizarre thing to do, right? But at the same time, it was happening in Canada. You're right. It was happening in Australia. It was happening in other Western civilizations. You then look at the COVID, and almost every government in the world actually made the exact same decisions at the exact same time, right? And we look at, you're mentioning digital ID, and we look at immigration and just ignore the asylum process. And when you get more than one government doing something that's absolutely bonkers at the same time, then you must accept one of these two things are true. Either it's the biggest coincidence in the world, or there's something else behind it. Now, that's where I stop talking, because I'm not that clever. I don't know if this option's true, I don't know who it is. So that's where people then go to go, hold on a minute, what Craig said is, I'm not coming on to your TV and going, anyway, the New World Order, the WEF, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Jews, right? I'm not doing that, because I don't know the answer. But what I do know is, it's impossible for it to be coincidence. And to say, does it resonate with me? Let me remind you, I spent a 4-figure sum of my own money to go to the front line of where people are coming into Europe and put myself in severe danger to unearth truths. So if you understand what resonate means, and you need to ask me the question when you know what I've been doing, then you kind of are missing the point.
Yeah. I mean, can I answer the question? Can I go there?
Aye.
I don't know if William, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to your phone call, I would agree that, I mean, personally, I think that you were probably giving out a bit too much truth information from the angle that I look at things. I think that they do know, because people have been banging on about this for long enough. But at the same time, you know, they want to shut the truth down. Like, you know, when I used to go on and talk about my harm for the Jag, they would shut me down because it was just too uncomfortable for them. I do think there is an approach to it. I'm not necessarily saying your approach was bad, and I think everybody's got a different approach to this. But to go back to it, I always talk about the documentary, which is by Oracle Films, called The Agenda, and I tell people watch that and maybe, you know, take your own kind of information from that to get an understanding, because it's very well presented and the way the guy's done it. Now, the thing is that possibility that those guys that created that documentary, I'm having a phone call with them very soon. So, but at the same time, with the digital ID, you know, I seen an article yesterday, didn't read it, but I seen that Macron and Keir Starmer are now wanting to push for digital ID so that they can keep an eye on, is it for the immigration workers, is that correct? So we can get an ID. But again, it's like, well, what's Macron got to do with it? But at the same time, it's it's scary.
For long, John. We've got 6 people waiting to come in. I'm just looking downstairs.
But William, well done on getting LBC.
Fair play to you, mate, getting even on these things, because I know how difficult it can be at times. And did you tell them what you were coming on to talk about, or did you just tell some lies?
They screen you before you come on. I call all the stations, BBC, Channel 5. But just one other thing, I'm not going to go to it, but I've got your number on my phone, Craig, because I knew you back from Rangers of Truth days. And I'm wondering if
don't phone that number, William. No, I've been funny. The cops have got that number. I'll get my phone back. So if you send anything on that, I'll get it for a while. What?
You talk about Humza a lot, and Humza sometimes shares videos from Gaza, and I think they're fake. And I've got evidence that a lot of the videos that come out from there, they're fake. And I think that's an important part of the story in your protest, because those people that protest you are talking about Gaza, and they're emotional about videos about that aren't real. A lot of it's real, but some of it's fake. And I was just wondering if you'd be interested in doing a deep dive on that. So that's it. Over and out. Houston, got a lot of problems. Have a good evening, guys. See you later.
Cheers, buddy. Right, we've got a regular back on. But we've got a bit of a queue here, so we'll get Monty, then DGR, then Connor, then Fat Bob, then Lex. So we'll get through these as quick as I can, folks. So Monty, first.
Lex for Twitter?
Well, it's LEX, so I don't think so.
All right, okay.
Monty.
Houston, we have a problem.
Monty gets
First
it.
thing I would like to say is golf clap to William there, and I don't know if I could somehow get in contact with him, but the first place he needs to go and search on Google is for Klaus Schwab. That will start his investigation quite well into all the things that he's saying. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is out there. WEF, WHO, and all the rest of it. It's right there. They want you to eat bugs, right? And they want to control what you eat, to control your carbon footprint. But that's not what I'm on about tonight. I want to try and run this idea by you. Now, we've got all the protest things happening up and down the UK. We've even got one in Glasgow on the 20th. This is all fantastic. I was thinking that perhaps there's another angle that you could think about. And you guys have got the reach throughout the UK, through all your contacts with different, citizen journalists and whatever, and it's this, right? The people that are on our side, right? There's a lot of small businesses, and people they maybe just get a van, or maybe they build your extension in your house and whatever. That's not the point. The point is what they do is they would normally advertise their services or advertise to employ somebody in a job or whatever it is via local newspapers. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they do that.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Right. Do you know that pretty much nearly all of the local newspapers are owned by 5 companies in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you tend not to,
right? PLC, Newsquest, World, DC Thomson, Print Newsquest, right?
Yeah.
Print News Consumption, right? Why am I saying this? See the guy that drives a white van. See the woman that fucking owns the dry cleaning business. See the guy that builds the extensions and whatnot. They literally need their classified ads in order to survive. That's it. So see the classifieds, when you go to the back of the paper and they say, we'll build your extension, we'll put in your new double glazing, we'll relay your driveway, all of that stuff. Their margins are so small, they rely on that. They don't rely on you buying a physical newspaper. They don't rely on you putting in for a subscription. They rely on the classifieds. That's where their money comes from. Think about what I'm saying here. Just don't buy the advert. And that 5 companies are suddenly under threat. There's over something like 102 million quid the reach people make in this country alone. Just don't buy their ads. Think of the impact of that. Their margins are so tight.
Yeah, nobody buys newspapers anymore, mate. That's why there's no investigative journalists, because there's no money in papers anymore.
Craig, specifically,
that's the only revenue they've got. Yeah, that's the only revenue they've got.
It's not buying newspapers, just to buy the ads.
But it's a different flip, right? Because people say all the time, it's shite, there's no such thing as an investigative journalist anymore. And that's the reason for that is we don't buy newspapers anymore. So they used to have advertising revenue and paper sales revenue, so now they don't have one of them. And nobody buys a paper, so they can't sell adverts in the paper that nobody buys. So they've got to sell them online, and that just gets a bit shit. But I get it. If you want to shut papers, then just stop the adverts. Do you know what I mean?
But you see, part of the reason why I'm saying this, though, right, is because their ability to use, the online subscriptions option and the selling a subscription and passing adverts through, and the way they sell these subscriptions and how that works and how they make their money is still dependent on somebody saying, I want to put that in, say, the Greenock Telegraph. That goes online. The person thinks they're putting it in the newspaper, but it's also going online, and it gets through Google, it gets indexed, and it trends, it ranks, and all the rest of it. We know how all this stuff works, right? But if it's not there, it's not going to do that. They start to lose traffic. When they start to lose traffic, that means that the relevance when it comes to the search engines becomes less. So they start to drop down the rankings, and all of a sudden, nobody cares. It's a bit like not watching the BBC. It's a bit like not watching Sky. You know, if you're not watching Sky or BBC or sorry, not BBC with the adverts, but say STV or whatever, and you're no buying, I don't know, somebody's new air fryer or whatever because you're only getting 10,000 views and they're paying £100,000 for that advert, and they're not going to pay that money for that advert anymore because they're not getting the views.
No,
you know, and
you
see what I mean?
Huh? Stop feeding the monster. Can I ask you something before we move on to the next person, Monty?
No bother, boys, and it's glad to catch up with you again. So,
good to see you. Can I ask you something before you
wants to buy an advert in one of these companies that are very hard left leaning? No, I'm not doing that one. I don't know. These people, to be honest with you, right? Sorry, lads, I'll let you go.
No, I don't know what you think. I've been trying to get a sponsor for my podcast for ages, man. Nobody wants to touch it.
I got loads when I was just doing like interviewing like football players and stuff. I get loads, and then started doing politics and nothing. Right, DGR, you're up next. What you want to say, buddy? We've got DGR. It's moved about a bit. Hold on. DGR, Connor, Bobby, and LX, I think. Hello.
Hello.
How
you doing?
Getting there.
I just had my new video go out, so it's just premiering now. But absolutely.
What was it?
Well, it's part 2 of the protest, which has the BBC interviews and the arrest.
This is up in Aberdeen.
Yeah. So
if you're scooting about, having a wee sniff about YouTube while you're tuning into this, go and put in DGR Media and give them a subscription and help them. All right,
no, I wanted to know about when the guy was getting arrested, they took him out of the crowd, and then the police they had the fence up and everything, but at the entrance into like the fenced off area, you'd say, they all stood there and you weren't allowed to go out. So you're basically caged in and you weren't allowed to leave while they took this guy away. Is that lawful to actually do that?
Sorry, what did run that? So basically they've arrested somebody and they've blocked you getting near him while he's been arrested?
No, they've took him round to the van. So he's near the van, but they weren't letting you leave at all. So you couldn't go out, basically.
Probably that's legal, aye.
Okay. I just found
the police are doing. See, when police are arresting somebody, they could justify it by saying you have to make a stereo area to make it safe for all parties. And when you're in a protest rally type thing, the police can actually do whatever they want because they can have section 30s, I think they're called, and they can just say, right, see this area here, nobody's to come in it. And if you come in this area and we've told you, you're going to get to jail. So they can
just need to play the game.
People.
Aye.
When there's a load of people, you can do one of two things. You can either argue with the police and cause a bit of hassle and potentially get arrested yourself, or say, do you know what, I kind of understand it. You're a bit busy arresting a guy. So if I want to go to my car, officer, how long is it going to be before I get to my car? They'll probably answer me. But if you go get out my effing road, I'm fucking sick of this, you can't stop me going there, then you'll get probably a different type of. And listen, some of the things that the police are doing are evidently nuts, right? So if you want to heighten the atmosphere, then, but if you don't and you want to try and bring the atmosphere down, you're not saying you comply with every stupid request you get. I mean, I was getting stupid requests about flying a drone at the weekend. Yeah. Got a bit iffy with the guy, do you know what I mean? Because he was just being a tadger after I'd done more than I was legally obliged to do. Anyway, so I either deal with them, try and deal with them as human beings, and hopefully you get the same back, or just aggravate the situation.
You've got to remember, the police are remaining impartial. That's the thing, although it doesn't seem that way. But at the end of the day, I've got a mate who's a police officer, and he was saying to me the other day, and he says it's ridiculous. He says I need to remain impartial at all times, uniform on and off, by the way. So when I'm there and they tell you I just go out fine, there's no point. There's just no point in sitting there. I know they're not that impartial, but anyway, it's just it's what they want. They want the arguments and that. So I just try and not give them anything.
I know. If you see Stephen's comment there, I just seen one saying he didn't actually get arrested, which I'm quite surprised about. Because he, from what my understanding, what I've been told, is he had this bottle of water, and he went up to the battery where the PA system was powered from, and he chucked all this water all over the PA system, and then that's what started the whole argument.
He's talking about it now. Aye, I think we dealt with him, but didn't we?
Aye, did it?
But crack on, because there's a queue of four now, so I'm pretty conscious
we'll talk about it, mate.
get them in.
So,
Right, be good. Right,
good work.
I think Connor's been in and out, so I think Connor was next, then Bobby, then Lex. So I'm going to try and get through. How you doing, Connor? You all right, pal?
I don't know. Can you hear me all right?
Do you know what? It's easier to talk to you live in the telly than it is through your phone, you maniac.
Oh, don't make me laugh, mate. I had an injury over the weekend, man.
This isn't going to be good. His internet's as bad as yours, man. This is just going to be terrible, man.
Aye. I've tried to sit. I've already kicked the Waynes off their games tonight to make sure I could come on.
Connor's internet's that slow. He's
So how's things, all right?
Getting there, mate. Getting there.
Oh, no,
tell us about Falkirk, Connor, at the weekend. Go for it.
I thought Falkirk went all right at the weekend. Obviously, what got said to me on Friday night, late Friday night, about us walking between two protest points, I would be, as the organiser, liable for arrest to due to not putting in a thing for basically walking between two static protests. So I believe that was kind of set up, but it didn't actually happen on Saturday. So I believe there was actually quite a good turnout down at the hotel after we had our protest in Falkirk as well. I think you missed our side there, Craig. I think you got a wee bit later than what you were meant to be, mate.
No, I didn't have any. Nobody asked me to talk. Nobody asked me to turn up. I was just, I had something coming to my house that I had to be in for. And then John's like, you're meant to be talking as protest. I went, John, I don't even know what the protest is. I tried to phone you during the week twice and you denied me. And I was like, well, I don't know where to go, because some people said you have to go to an MP's office. Some people said you have to go to the Clark. And I had no idea where I was to go. So, and to be honest with you, the way my Saturday went, I got to Falkirk the earliest I could, because I had something getting delivered to the house that I had to get. So I didn't go. I just went, once my parcel comes, I'll jump in the car and I'll head somewhere. And it just got a bit mental. So if you want me to talk at protest, I'll be there, mate. I would never let anybody down. If I say aye, I'll be there. If I say I can't,
definitely, mate. Definitely.
I don't get that. But don't let John be your messenger.
So we've got a few more planned anyway. From my point of view, I never really seen what happened to the second part of it. I'm waiting to see John's video. I'm not interested in what the mainstream media's got to say about the second part of it. But I'm sure I heard John saying later that the second part of that video about tomorrow. So that'll kind of give me an insight as to what happened to the second part. But I believe that it was kind of on all day, and it didn't disperse until about 9:30 on Saturday night, which is quite a lengthy day, mate.
The numbers were certainly dropping when I left. I can't remember when I left time-wise, but I was there for a good couple of hours anyway. And then I seen the lefties making videos later on suggesting that there was nobody there, which was obviously idiotic, because I had drone footage and everything. There, a couple of 300 there, so but you're going to get that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to come up and film your protest.
I don't know if, from my point of view... What's that, mate?
He's saying he'll come up and film your
protest. Aye, I just seen that pop up there. Aye, definitely. The more the merrier. Anybody that's kind of in that line of work, like yourselves, guys, I'm kind of cutting off to giving any kind of interviews to the mainstream media from now on. They're going to paint a narrative, and it's the same as what I said to John at the weekend. I cannot wait to do an interview with himself, because that's giving out the true picture of what actually goes on at these events. And it takes away the narrative of what the mainstream media is trying to point at everybody. From my point of view, I think it went all right, but I think it's going to need to just keep going and keep going. A bit of disappointment news on the Epping side of things. I thought that would have kind of showed precedent, but again, the Home Office overturned that ruling. So yeah, I think it's just going to be about just keep on it. I'm looking forward to the big event on the 20th in Glasgow. I'm just hoping that we get massive numbers for it.
Yeah, hope so. If you say Glasgow get 10 times the amount of people as Falkirk, we don't get 10 times the crowd, then it's got to be go down as wasn't successful. If the people in Glasgow don't come out, it's a bad day. So I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
The only thing I think we're up against, Craig, in my honest opinion, is the weather. That's it. But that's something that's not in our control. But I say it all the time: buy a brolly, put yourself some waterproof.
Your skin's waterproof. Right, they've got two still to come up. They've been patient. So Bobby, how are you? Bobby?
There you go, I'm here.
Hi, mate.
All right. Right. Before you ask, no, that's not a photograph of me. That's a photograph of a Russian guy by the name of Yuri Bezmenov. So,
right. Are we getting a history lesson, or are we getting a question? Because we've got a queue coming, mate.
I'll do you a wee quickie. Do you know who Yuri Bezmenov is?
No, not a clue.
He defected from Russia and went to Canada. And after the Canadian authorities had finished dealing with him, to make money, he went out on the Canadian TV and did a series of TV shows. And he was being asked by political supposed commentators at the time questions about the state of play at that time, because obviously that was just after the Cold War was supposed to have been finished off. And one of the questions he was asked that was interesting was, how do we make sure we win the Cold War? And he went, you lost it 20 years ago. And they went, what do you mean we lost it? He says, we've been infiltrating your schools, your media, your universities, and implanting them with our people for at least 20 years. He said, and this is God's, I couldn't believe it, and I replayed it to myself. And he said, you're going to reach a stage where you're not going to understand why your children don't know what sex they are. But that started. We're destroying the nuclear family, because that's what makes capitalism successful. The whole nuclear family thing. He said, and we're destroying it. And we've picked the groups of people that we consider to be the useful idiots, and we're going to use them to basically destroy the nuclear family.
I think it's not just that, mate. I think they're attacking everything at all angles now. I mean, yes, that is a big, massive aspect of it. One thing that really annoys me is, I tell everybody, go watch a documentary called What Is a Woman? Go and look at who John Money is, and a guy called Alfred Kinsey.
Yeah, I know who Money is, and Kinsey's he's an asshole.
And the thing is, if people actually knew
all Germans,
not the rainbow flag, but the other flag, if they actually understood that flag, that the whole country would be up in arms. And nobody, when you talk about John Money or Kinsey, nobody's interested in looking at the background of these guys. These guys believe that your children were sexualized from birth. They've done studies on it. Absolutely disgusting. And this is what our curriculum in the schools are educating our children on. Get it out.
One of these guys took two twins, two male twins, and the parents, for whatever reason, weren't on the scene. So he took over the children, and he brought one up as a girl and one up as a boy, because in his eyes, in his head, it was all conditioning. You could condition them to become a girl. And it worked so well that the boy, I think he was about 28 when he committed suicide. So people sit there and don't understand exactly what's been happening. And I mean, the thing for me with Yuri Bezmenov is he warned us this in 1981-82. And he was telling us where we're going to be now.
And it's so close. It's so close to a lot more. But to go back to those two twins are no longer here. And like you said, I think one of them, like you said, ended their own life, and the other one, I think, because I think did they not do experiments on one of them to make them be a female, and because of the complications they died. I'd need to double check that one. But
the one that transed over to become a girl, but they didn't do any operations, and I don't think they applied any hormone therapy to them. But that one, basically, by the time I think they got to 30-ish, turned around and topped themselves because they couldn't handle the pressure of what they'd been through.
And honestly, this is the thing. The studies that they done were not on everyday Americans or whatever the hell they done the studies. It was in people that were in. I think there was people that were in. In the jails, in the prison, So they were using the vulnerable to do their studies, and this is what frustrates me when people talk about when I see it, and I'm like, if they knew where the education of that, where the studies came from, this whole country would definitely abolish that flag. It frustrates the life out of me.
Yeah, I mean, most of it, in inverted commas, seems to have come from Eastern Germany, as we would understand it. I mean, these guys were psychotic, regardless of whatever qualifications they had to supposedly be psychologists and childcare people. I mean, the Germans at one point had a policy whereby, because they found quite a lot of paedophiles, German citizens, paedophiles, and they had a lot of children who didn't have parents, were orphans. And what they actually decided would be a good thing to do would be to take the children, this sounds crazy, to take the children that were orphans and get them to go and live and be brought up by the paedophiles. I mean, you and I would look at that and go, that just doesn't make any sense. They did it. The Germans did it. They thought this was a great idea.
Comes from the Kinsey scale. That's what I tell everybody. And the thing is, I don't understand why parents are not up in arms and going to the schools and saying, I'm sorry, but I'm not having my child educated on this. That is where it starts. The schools, parents, and people need to start banding together. But yeah.
That's why I brought Yuri Bezmenov up, because he told us in 81, 82 on TV shows from Canada exactly what was coming our way. And I remember one of them said, how the hell do you know all this? And he went, because I planned it. And they looked at him and he went, so what are you doing over here? He says, because I've realised that it's wrong. He says, I'm here to give the warning. I'm here to give you the heads up. And we went, and did nothing about it.
Brilliant, mate. Love it. Right.
Good information, mate. Well done.
Aye, no, I appreciate that. That was a good one, mate. Right, we'll get LX to come up. So.
That was very good, by the way, John.
Good point.
I know it's going to annoy Craig because I'm blowing smoke up your thing as he was concerned, but no, I watched your Falkirk and I loved listening to you talking to the BBC.
Oh, mate, they'll never. The BBC, I'll never have any respect for them for what they've done, especially regarding the Jags and stuff, so they never get any respect from me, and I'll out them every time I see them. And do you know what, sorry before you go to the next one, Craig, but I actually seen a video of somewhere in England, and do you know what, they didn't chase them out, they refused them to come in, and every single person, they went, get out, and that was it. And do you know what, if you see them at any other protest, I'd do the exact same and go, not interested, beat it.
Aye, get them out, definitely.
That's just me.
Right, buddy, thanks for that, buddy, and we'll see you again soon, hopefully, bud, mate. Good chat, like that one.
I'll hang in and listen.
Right, mate, I'll go pop you back down because it's just getting too mental up here for my computer, right? So I'll put you back in the green room, mate, you can back up. Right, so we'll get LX. I hope you're still there, buddy, because you've been there for quite a long time.
Been here for about 6 weeks here, Craig. Can I just double check? Am I allowed to swear?
As the LX, how you doing, buddy?
It is. I'm good. I'm okay. Am I allowed to swear or not? Do you know what? This is a horrible setup. I'm not going to lie. You click back and it brings you back out the room. It makes no sense to me anyway.
That there was your specialist topic right there as well, what that boy was talking about.
I know, but he gets too confused. Do you know what, right? Loads of it. There's loads that I could comment on, to be honest. But just to start with, like the digital ID, this is absolutely not new. In 2009, Tony Blair, when he was PM, actually put this forward. So we've had 4 lots of it. So we had that in 2009, where he made the initial digital ID proposal. So the coalition between the Lib Dems and the Tories actually stopped that in 2010. So this is going back 15, 16 years ago. Tony Blair was back out beating his drum again when it was COVID. So we had the COVID vaccination certificate, which was digital ID. They used that again. They threatened all of the kids, everything. My godson was threatened with not being able to go away, get into nightclubs and everything like that. They withdrew it because they knew they couldn't quite get away with it in COVID. So we got off again with it. But when my son came to his school 5 years ago, this is what terrified me, because they took the fingerprints at first, then they took the retina, an iris scan, and it's full facial recognition to even just open doors within the school. He is the only child who was in his class that didn't give a fingerprint for his lunchtime pass. My daughter is now one of two in her class, which is a class of 30. This is a specialist school, I'd say a specialist religious school, but this is across the board on most schools, most secondary schools now, where you have to give your fingerprints over to just pay for your dinner, where you could do it on parents' pay anyway. But if you ask Blair like what the benefits are, he's going to tell you that it's more reliable, it's faster and it's cheaper, and you're going to see who's able to come into the country. The issue you've got with this is that it's potentially going to be discrimination, and because of the increased surveillance, they're passing it back to AI again. So all of it's going back to AI, and they're trying to make out that it'll make quicker solutions. So when they deploy the police and stuff like that, they're saying, well, if we get AI involved in this, it makes it a better decision than a human being, basically. But what we've learned from it is, because we've had 2 leaks in Liverpool from 2 different schools in the last 12 months. I know this is a lot to take in, Craig. Just try and keep up for a little bit, okay? So basically, they can't protect the data. This is the issue that we've got. We've got no business and no right giving our children's retinas and fingerprints out. They are not our data. It's disgusting, because you don't even know what that information is going to do for our children in 20 years' time. And you're using it because you can't be bothered with a dinner pass.
See, when you say there's been a leak, what happened? Was it a full data leak?
Yeah. So where they've been hacked. I mean, it was a few years ago, but I think it was either PlayStation, it was Sony, I think, actually. They were hacked into on Christmas Day. And it was like a kid who'd done it. I think he was about 17. But this is pretty much the thing. The hackers now can get in, and a local school by ours was hacked by one of the students, I think it was. They have like an intranet and stuff like that. One of the students was able to get onto it. Like, they can't protect this data, even if you want to trust them. And in the trial last year where they rolled this out, so Blair's been banging this drum for 16 years. He's now got William Hague, who's backing him as well, which was actually his opposition on it 16 years ago. So make that one make sense. Both owned by West now. So in the trial data, it shows that 334 arrests were made in 2024. That's not a massive number. We had 400 arrests at fucking Notting Hill Carnival, and they think that that's okay because they've made 300 extra arrests. Carnival. That was very successful. There was only 10. There's only 10 stabbings. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, so fantastic.
Just to touch on the Notting Hill Carnival, it's funny that the mainstream media did not demonise that. Now, last year at that guy's event with 100,000 people in London, there was literally, I mean, how many arrests? 2 arrests, 3 arrests, nothing, nowhere near to what they said, and it's absolutely ridiculous that they still continue. That Notting Hill Carnival's well known, by the way. Every Sunday, they've been told Friday, Saturday's family day, and then Sunday it's just chaos day.
What I would say is, though, what you do have to look at, now I feel like the woman who looks like Chris Eubank, which was absolutely wild on her comments, you do have to look that 2 million people come to the capital on those 3 days. So you have to look at the numbers. However, it didn't cut that way for Tommy. Am I allowed to say a second name on this app? I don't know what you're allowed to say, but when Tommy Robinson only got 13 arrests last August, people weren't saying then, oh, well, there was 100k people in London on that day. So if we look at that, per capita, that's a massive, it's 0.01 who were actually arrested. Well, 0.001 actually, I think. But we're allowed to look at those stats for Notting Hill Carnival, but we weren't allowed to look at Tommy in such a favourable way because he only got 13 arrests on the day. So they are kind of having it both ways at the moment. But just to say, when you were saying about the trans stuff before as well, this is part of depopulation. I know that everyone's banging on about immigration consistently and constantly all the time. But the Depop is like literally trams, where they're pushing trams down our throat, mandatory learning you can't come out of in primary or secondary school to all children across the UK. The vapes, The vapes lower testosterone like no one else's fucking business. They're not even FDA approved, most of them. I liked, they're disgusting. Veganism, there's no protein in it. The boys, again, no testosterone. The taxes, everyone's depressed. The social media, the vaccinations, honestly, the immigrants, no one's having babies. And everything, the food, because we're buying the food from abroad, that's not even tested properly. So the farmers are held to a higher grade over in this country than the shit we're buying from abroad. It just makes, well, it makes perfect sense when you know. But I know that's a lot to unpack, Craig. I'm sorry. I speak quickly as well.
Right, pal. I'm Neil. If you're at a 10, I'm about a 7 or 8 just now, darling. Can I ask you something while you're here? 2 things. How did you manage to pull you off X for the night?
Me, I haven't been on for a little bit, you know. I've kind of, do you know what it is? Since Lucy, I'm just expecting the fucking Gestapo at my door in a 31-month sentence anytime soon, to be honest. You shouldn't laugh, but do you know what I'll share with you? She was meant to be over in America with Farage, and Farage spoke about it today, and she sent me what Farage had said, and he did mention her. He's in bad grace at the moment with me and probably half of the country. I think so. He seems to be self-sabotaging in my opinion. But what I'd say is he did mention Lucy. Lucy was actually meant to travel to America. She especially went to go and get a passport. She won't mind me saying this because Farage has actually said it, said it today. They blocked her from going. She wasn't allowed to leave the country. She's not allowed to go to any protests. Read between the lines on that. You can't go to any protests whatsoever that are upcoming. I've been offered a free train ticket to one. There's a small protest happening on the 13th that I might be attending or not sure yet, but I've been offered free digs and free train rides, so I might go. But unfortunately, the likes of Lucy isn't allowed to come along because the government won't have her there. Well, the CPS. So that says it all.
Can I just ask you something, Alex? Just for people that are on Twitter and they don't know your friend's Lucy Connolly, right? Just so people know who you're talking about. Now, when you said she's been stopped for travelling, obviously America has got rules with people who have got convictions can't normally come in. I'm guessing it wasn't the Americans that stopped her arriving there. It was our border patrol that stopped her leaving the country.
No, she wasn't allowed to leave. You have to go. You have to have it okayed by probation and stuff like that. So it's been vetoed. So, funnily enough, Trump will have it in. So, you know, it's not actually America that's stopping her. It's our government.
She's literally owned by the state.
Yeah, I think, you know, political prisoners are very outlandish term, but she is at this point 100%. She still is, even though she's left, she still is.
But she's out in licence, basically, right? Is that normal? Is that a normal constraint?
No, it's not the norm at all. I know someone who served a decade for.
Can you hear, John?
Yeah, I can hear.
Can you not hear me?
No.
It's his Wi-Fi, John. It's his Wi-Fi.
Basically, I'm just in the old folks' home again, man. What he's just.
I think it's because I talk too quick for him, to be honest.
It's not. It's
sorry, no, my
Granddad.
I should stick to going on Twitter space. Hold you. That's enough. I heard that. Right? See, this is 60 Twitter spaces on my phone, right? I've got a camera, a screen, a laptop, earphones, lights, all gone at the one time, right?
I bought podcast equipment 2 years ago, and I was going to do a podcast myself. Would have been better than your two, to be honest. Yours is shite, like, but
where's
you know what? I did not.
Right.
I had all the gear and no idea. It's so technical, it's too technical for me. I'm not even a natural blonde either, but it was a bit too much for me, to be honest.
See the amount of 10-minute moans I've recorded, right? I've got a new microphone, right? And I kind of think I've got it linked up the roof because people can hear me, right? The amount of times, right, that I've went and recorded stuff, and I've went and recorded the whole thing and then sat back down and hadn't recorded the vocals. The last time, I normally do 10-minute moans. when I came back from Lesbos, I had loads of information I wanted to put in one video, and I didn't want to put it out while I was still in Ireland. It was so hot, right? I came back, landed at Manchester Airport, got to my hotel, made a 45-minute video, took it off my camera, went to edit it, and there was no sound. Right.
Do you know what? Yours is one of the few ones that I watch, Craig, because they're that short. And I've got the attention span of a gold. No, I watch them at bedtime while I'm trying to nap. No, I'm only messing. No, I've watched them a couple of times because they're under the I'm joking.
So, listen, can I ask you a wee question? If you don't want to answer it, I totally get it. How is your pal?
She's good, you know, she's good. They'd stopped her from going home after she was released. They said it might be too dangerous for her. So she's only actually just gone home. Yeah, people, I don't like to say too much when it's actually happening, but she wasn't allowed to go immediately home for protection of her and her daughter, apparently. So she wasn't actually staying there, she was staying somewhere else, which wasn't just round the corner, to be fair. So she's been really fucked over. I know someone that served for the worst thing you can think of, and they did 10 years in jail, and when they came home they were allowed to go to probation, and they were in Mexico 2 weeks afterwards when they came home for that, and you're on licence for life when you do that. So if you have probation for life, that, and they were allowed to go to Mexico 2 weeks later, and Lucy's not allowed to leave the country for that.
So has she been given a date when that'll be lifted, or is that just a restriction?
So that no, it's not for life. So normally that runs concurrent for your sentence. So you're released for good behaviour under the guise that, you won't do anything else or you will be returned back to. So when we've got the likes of that cunt, and I'm not going to give it any airtime off Twitter, you'll all know I'm talking about the race baiter. When she's saying, well, if I could report it, I would, and this, that, and the other.
Don't mention her name. She'll sue me. She'll stick you right in it, that one.
You know what? She won't block me because I actually give her revenue every time I comment on it, and I've just muted her now because I just thought, you know what, I'm just bringing traffic. I get quite a lot of traction, and I thought I'm just bringing it. I'm making her money by even commenting now, so I have muted it. But I think that Lucy's got to play clever, but she's got a lot of advisors now, proper ones, and legal counsel and stuff like that. And she's got me, so she can't go that far wrong, can she? So, but yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to say that there's a few issues, and that's everyone is going on about the immigration. And I know it's a hotbed in Scotland every Saturday at the moment, and obviously with the thing with Tommy coming up and that, but it's everything. It's our information. It's the overreach on the WHO and WEF, that what we've given them for the next pandemic and stuff like that. We've not even seen the overreach that's going to happen next time.
What's your biggest worry out of curiosity?
Craig's Wi-Fi for now, but I'm only messing.
You're not getting back on. You better come in with an alias the next time. You're not getting past the security.
He's going to want you on every weekend, every night, by the way.
What for me? Okay, so this month everyone's up in arms about digital ID. This was 2009. This has been 16 years in the making. The point I was trying to make with Blair when he was PM. Google this afterwards. We've had this. He went on record again. He did a little shitty video in April this year telling us all the benefits that we're going to get from it, and it's going to save us $2 billion a year. And they're trying to dangle this carrot of, non-existent money when they were telling us about a 22 billion black hole last month. Now we can save $2 billion if we give our children's rights and our rights away, and it's just disgusting, to be honest. Crazy.
No, I had the girl on, Alex, and she was almost done. See, when it was the 20th anniversary of the London bombing, it was that night, right? And this woman must have been the unluckiest person. She was actually on the subway system when the train exploded, right? And she had to get taken off with security, with emergency services. And then she made her way to her work. It was either Sloane Square or Russell Square. And she turned the corner. She was on the phone to one of her colleagues because she was meant to be going to a meeting. And he was standing outside. She could see him, and the bus pulled up, and the bus exploded, and that man died. Right. So she was party to both the two explosions. Yeah. That day was bonkers. So anyway, she came on, and it turns out, I'm going to get her back on, she was worked in intelligence services, and at that point, although it was well before 2012, we were doing the planning for the Olympics, right? And the meeting that day was about the facial recognition. And they thought, we know who the athletes are. We can do all the checks on them before they come, but we don't know who's coming with them. So their families, supporters, etc. They put surveillance on the athletes' village. And then from there, they could then follow where they were going to all the events all over the country. But that's where they got all the intelligence. So she said, as soon as you walked into that field, the facial recognition basically took your picture. Within seconds, they had your passport, driving license, bank accounts, everything that quick, right? And I was like, but this is 2012. She went, yeah. I said, see, once the games were finished, what did you do with the equipment? She said, nothing, it's still there.
Yeah, of course.
That was 13 years ago. That technology was there 13 years ago. And that stuff, nobody went and lifted it. So that's still there.
Do you know what they're going to be doing? They're going to be taking fingerprint matches from smartphones. This is where they're going with it. You can honestly Google, it's on YouTube, I'll send you the link when you come up. It's a 4.5-minute video that Tony Blair put on in April this year. Urge anyone to watch it. And he's basically telling us, as Klaus did with the Great Reset and all this, he's literally telling us what's going to happen. And if no one's panicking about this, or you think, well, I haven't done anything wrong. Well, first, they came for such and such and no one did nothing for them. And that's what it is. Even the left wing aren't safe at this point. No one is safe. And where I think it was William who was saying to LBC before, they're going to be checking on your digital credit social score system like they've got in China. That's 100% what they're going to be doing. 100%.
I was talking earlier on Censored Patriots on X, and so see the local...
Can we call it Twitter, please?
Twitter, sorry, I know you don't like that one. But regarding, so the test score where I stay, I noticed that recently, know how you've got the fridge area and it's just like, it's open, you can go in, there's nothing there. And then maybe about 5 months ago, they've put these screens in. So it's now you have to open the doors, and I'm sitting there going, right, for years and years we've had, why are we putting in doors? And then I've seen that, I don't know if it's in England or somewhere, but in the future, they've said that in order for you to get in and get your food, you're going to have a screen, and they're going to have to, that's how you open it, they'll open it with your face. So the facial recognition, digital ID, that's where it's going. They've
got that in the US at the moment, I think, somewhere. And they've also got the bank chips in the wrist, so people have started actually by voluntary doing that. Yeah, crazy.
Sweden have been doing that.
We've got so many things already that are smart devices, right? It will not take much to go from where we are now to where everybody wants to go. I just want to come in this comment, actually. Craig, I was told by a stranger that Erskine Hotel is taking illegals back in dribs and drabs. Can you investigate, mate? Well, yes, I can, David. I just want to share something with you. Over the weekend, I had 2 separate people send me information about a hotel, which is about a 25-30-minute drive from me. Just by pure chance today, I had a meeting with a guy that was about 10 minutes away from the hotel. So while I was in the area, I went over to it, and it was a red herring. I actually enjoyed a lovely lunch on the premises, which I wouldn't be doing if it was an asylum hotel. However, when I was there, something else landed on my plate. I don't want to say too much about the hotel, and I give the game away, but I'm already on with one, which I don't think it's actually the hotel that's the problem. There's a nearby building, which I'm investigating. So yeah, when somebody gives me a lead, David, they always go in the back of my head. I'm not that far from Erskine, to be honest with you. So, it's not a massive day trip for me. But yeah, I'll head over. If the hotel's still open, personally, I'll go over to my lunch there one day in the next maybe week or 2.
I've been getting a lot of messages regarding, a lot of people have been messaging me, asking what I cover East Kilbride. I won't mention hotels, but they're saying a lot of them are, I've got family that stay out that way, and a lot of them are asking, and I'm saying, well, I'm not going to go out and cover it. I says, I'm going to, basically, what I'm saying to people is, right, and this is the thing, people have been attacking me online now, saying you're now a racist and all that, and I'm saying, right, okay, number one, when I go to these protests, you don't see me shouting at hotels and anything. What you see is you see me documenting it, and you see me interviewing local people. I'll stand there and I try and get over the other side, but Craig, we've seen that as a battle, as you've seen in Aberdeen. So I'll never go over the left, but what I'm doing is I'm interviewing people and I want to get an understanding why they're there and what is the local saying. So if there's one happening anywhere, I'm more than happy to go and document it and do what your mainstream media should be doing. But that's kind of where I'm at. But I mean, a lot of people are talking about East Kilbride right now.
Do you know what I'm actually considering doing? And it sounds insane, but I don't go into town that much. But the last time, 2 times I've been, stuff's happened. Only like minor things, but obviously I've had major things where I've had to contact terrorist police and stuff like that. That's happened to me and my daughter and stuff like that. I'm actually looking, just before I came on here, at a body cam, that I'm going to be wearing a body cam. I think these fucking police are lawless. Merseyside police are one of the worst in the whole of the country. They think they can do whatever the fuck they like to us anyway. They've been wearing body cams for years. I just think, well, you may as well protect yourself and have one on now. What difference does it make? I mean, you didn't have to put it on in the school run or something. But this is where my head's at now, where we are not even to be the media yourself or put it out somewhere, but to protect yourself and to have some comeback on someone who's either saying something to you or they could possibly attack yourself. And I've never felt like that. Like for 40 years, I've felt safe in this city until about 4 years ago. And honestly, like women, I think that your shoulder must be hurting because I carry around DP with me now. How ridiculous is that? I mean, obviously, I'm not saying you should be doing anything with that, but my shoulder hurts and I carry DPs. And I think, where are we going with this?
Alex, you've got the pink ladies wanting to recruit you.
It's what? I can't see any of the chat. Can't see any.
Who's this woman that's talking? So it's Alex. Alex, we know Alex through Twitter Spaces.
My handle on Twitter is, I've had to change it. Just wait there, LPXIOP. LP, I can't even say it now, I've changed it.
Listen.
I change it all the time, I'm a crank.
Hi, Alex. Right, and what's your handle? At what?
LP. XI. I think it's OP. It might be a 0. I like to have a nice short one, like you, Craig.
OP.
Yeah.
Right, I tell you what, I'm going to O, right?
A nice short one. He didn't even click that.
XI 0P. It's one of the two.
I think it's okay.
Oh my God! Right. No.
Did you kick her?
There you go. No, I never kicked her. No, she'll batter me if I kicked her, man.
What happened
anyway? I don't know. I was putting that banner up in the bottom and the cybernet.
We need some females in here. I mean, that was just brilliant. She was on the money.
I think Alex is the 3rd ever female to call in. That's why I was delighted to see her. I'll send her a DM.
She's been following my journey and Alex's journey. Like, she's been on this since 2020. She's been all over this in 2020. But honestly, man, like, she goes on like TikTok and debates all these people. Honestly, there's not many people that can debate with her, especially when it comes to politics. She's absolutely on the money with everything, man. She's hilarious. Hopefully she can come back in, but she's brilliant.
It was she's, for those who don't know, she's Lucy Connolly's pal, and it was horrible during all that time because she kind of wanted to tell us everything but couldn't tell us anything at the same time, because she was like, if I say the wrong thing and it affected my pal getting released, then should have been felt really, really bad. So she kind of kept us all going and telling us what she could say, but she kind of told us, like, she almost did, she's back in the room, right? Hold on, there's the princess of Twitter back in. I never kicked you, by the way. It was John.
You've just kicked me. You've just kicked me because I said you had a short one. That's terrible, Craig.
Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah, so me personally, I'm going to be putting a body cam on. I've had an illegal immigrant, pick me up from my home address, take my daughter to school with me, 7:30 in the morning, couldn't speak a word of English. What did he look like? I said he looked like Osama bin Laden. Everyone kicked off about it. And I just said, well, I meant Afghani in traditional wear with a beard, this, that and the other. And he was shopping for arms at the time, Craig. He was shopping for AK-47s and flicks. And he had a phone below him. And I got reported. I got a crime reference number for my trouble. I don't even know what I was thinking. Do you know when you go into shock? I literally pulled up at my daughter's school and I kind of got on that he was on FaceTime to someone, and I did feel uneasy. I don't know why I got back in the taxi. I honestly, to this day, I don't know why I did it. Dropped her into the school, ran back, and then I saw what he was watching, videoed it. When I got out, I looked at the registration plate and stuff like that. And then he actually got out the car and followed me into the co-op and ran into the co-op after me. Obviously didn't open my shop that morning and whatever else. But yeah, it was reported. But people are like, oh, it didn't happen at the Year Awards. I've got absolutely no reason to lie about any of this whatsoever. Me and my daughter have gone into toilets, female safe spaces, and there's been men there with exposed genitalia. My daughter's come and got me when we were in a restaurant in town. Well, why did you let your daughter go to the toilet on her own? It was a ground floor one. And I was literally, I could see into the corridor. I thought she'd be safe. They're not safe. You've got to take them every single time they go to the toilet. You've got to be with them. This is just my first-hand experience. Honestly, in the last couple of years.
What age is yours?
She's just started secondary school, so she's 11. But this was a couple of years ago. So we were in the Adelphi and we were meeting a girl off Twitter. She'd come to pick her dog up. We were on the 3rd floor. This was 4 years ago in the Adelphi, and they had.
I've heard you talking about this before.
They had them there, and a taxi driver had to stop for us in Liverpool town centre because they were like cornering us.
See what Alex is talking about there, right? Have you seen the recent, what basically GB News and Patrick Christie covered the other day regarding the guy that was, I think he was staying in the hotel and he went to his Snapchat and he had all these weapons. Did you see that, Craig?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Now, this is something, again, that I heard last year, and I find it really baffling, and you've probably heard this one, Alex. There was a woman who basically took on one of these contracts. Government turned around. I'll try and make it as short as possible. Government turned around and went, we'll give you the contract, but we'll also give you your own security. And then what happened was she was 3 months into the contract. Government basically turned around to her and said, we're going to drop off a package. Can you show us where you would keep it? She went to a cupboard. She went, no, we need a bigger area. And then basically they turned around to her and they said, when this package arrives, we don't want you to look at it. It was a crate. And basically, this was down near Bristol, I believe. Now, when they opened, she had this package, this crate, for nearly 4 or 5 months, and she spoke to another friend that owned a hotel, and basically she was saying to her friend, "I've had this thing, and I've been told not to touch it, and blah blah blah." And they turned around to her, and the friend went, "Well, I think you should open it because you'll be liable, because you're the owner, and you must know everything that came in." And the woman said that she went out, she opened it, and she said she's seen all sorts of weapons, hand grenades, the lot. And I'm sitting there going, and now after what I've seen with Patrick Christie and what you're saying, Eli, I'm sitting there going, that doesn't sound so crazy now.
There's a Scouse lad, he's called Joey Stream. He's got like a big massive account on TikTok. I don't know if you've got him or not. He's like, I don't know, he's as Scouse as me, to be fair. But he was actually saying the same thing, that he's took phone calls over last weekend from people who work within hotels and people who are hotel, like, he said something like a chain owner. I don't think he means chain owner, maybe franchise owner or something. But he said he's had 4 or 5 phone calls saying that this month alone. It's still going on. I do remember the woman from last year, but this is still happening. They're having these parcels, they're having deliveries in the middle of the night, and when they're actually being opened by someone who's an owner or someone high up within the hotel, they've got fucking arms in them. They've got weapons in these boxes, apparently. Now, this is allegedly, and I must say this is for entertainment purposes only, so no one fucking come for me, okay? This is allegedly.
But again, to go back,
we've all heard similar with people, and there's some comments coming in about folk that are security and stuff like that. I mean, it's. I've never seen anything.
This is hearsay, but there is photos of it. I have seen photos of something sad.
But again, it kind of, and what worries me is that you hear all these stories again, hearsay, that basically what they're saying is, why is it all men? Again, you take that woman, you take Patrick Christie's evidence, what you're saying there, and you're sitting there going, no, I've said it today one, when people decide to down tools, it's like, are they here to protect the government when people are already up in arms?
Alex, see if you only watch one of my videos in the next.
Oh God, yeah.
Go and watch the one that I filmed in Manchester after I came back from Lesbos, right? It's 45 minutes long. Skip the first half, because the first half is just me telling.
I don't know, I might have seen it actually.
I'm sitting in a hotel room, and all I'm doing is I'm talking about the weird shit that happened to me in this trip. In the second half, I tell everybody the evidence that I pulled in about the United Nations and the EU and what they're actually doing over there. And it's right down your street, right? It's the sort of stuff you'll be like, all right, yeah, you probably know about it. But it's just me trying to bridge that gap between people who have got no knowledge and the people who have got hundreds of knowledge, and try and put a story in here somewhere to drag people that have got no knowledge up a wee bit further. And it's just nuts, right? You just go, your head just talking about Patrick Christie and stuff, and the stuff I seen when I went to Cali was nuts as well, and particularly when I came back the film come back in the boat. And it's just about, and who was it was on earlier? Was it William?
My daughter's just going with Dylan, sir.
He was going from 1 to 10 and trying to get people to understand stuff at 10.
Just in case our kids were there, I don't like that.
But it's nuts, mate. It's absolutely nuts.
No, I think you're right.
Sorry, hold on.
I think your approach is right, Craig. I think the approach is right. I think there's got to be a balance in between it. It's got to be. I've said that for a long time, but the scary thing is we're getting so close.
Bobby's down below, and he's put some stuff in the private chat that I hadn't just realised. So see there, Bobby, you've put up a question there about some books. Do you want to take that one up? Bobby.
Muted.
Bobby's away.
Have you got any more callers, by the way?
No, Bobby, if you come back in, I now see where that private chat is. Just smash something in the private chat. Anyways, made some comments.
Try and get more callers on. By the way, just to say, right, I'm going to plug myself here. Just to say that this week I'm going down to do 2 very extremely important interviews. If anyone could please donate to my PayPal, I would really appreciate it. It'll help towards my fuel and towards my hotel, and that's how much I'd really appreciate it.
You're going to take car?
No, I'm not going to do it. No. But what I'm saying is
you take your other one.
If anyone could help towards it, I'd really appreciate it. Like I say, you know yourself, Craig, going around the country, going down, it really is, it would help to get the story out.
See the first time I asked for help financially was when I went to Lesbos. I thought if I get 300 or 400 quid, it would be absolutely fantastic. I get £500 more than the cost of the trip. So I've got that money sitting there for the next one. People are fantastic, John. And sometimes you just need to take a wee punt and go, in the hope that when people see your footage, they'll go, that cost them a few quid.
It's like I say, if you don't ask, you don't get. But again, it's like you go down. There's 2 very important interviews which will tie in with the event on the 20th. You know one of them, Craig, and another woman who's got a very important story that Alex Kearney knows. So again, going down, and again, I'm just asking for a little bit of help, a little bit of contribution towards the.
Where can people find us?
If you're watching any of my videos, I put the Buy Me a Coffee or the PayPal. I would say PayPal would be better because Buy Me a Coffee take a bigger chunk, but PayPal would be fine, and it just helps me towards my hotel. That's all I'm looking for. I'd really appreciate it.
Hold on there, buddy. You just hold on, right? We'll go there and do that. John's handle is on X is bring the noise _.
X.
Get a wee X on it, a wee kiss. Bring this noise. I'm just going to share screen. So bear with me because I'm frightened with the IT. So there's John's. Is that showing up there, John? So I don't need to flick back.
What's that?
It's showing up.
What's that, mate?
Right. So that's John standing. Where's your? How do you? Oh, and then you go into your YouTube, yeah.
I should take you to YouTube. I'm hoping that works. Does that work?
I'll take you to YouTube. Look at the speed of my internet. Right. So there's your YouTube. Bring the noise 2025 because your old one gets smashed, doesn't it?
I've had 5 YouTube accounts, mate.
And we get a stupid ad. Yeah.
Surprised they're giving me adverts, to be fair.
It's because you always care, mate. You say bad things, mate. That's what it's about. So we're on this. Don't want to do that. Where's this thing you're telling me about?
So if you just see if you skip the first bit, go like just scroll along to 10 minutes or something like that. So there you go. See if you pause that.
Right, so he's down the bottom here.
So bottom left, bottom right, scan the QR codes, or if you go to the description in the video, you'll see the PayPal, and it would help me out just to get on the road and
right, here's a thing for you, right? See if you
He's cut out for me.
You are watching a video. Yep. Hear me now? Hear me now?
Yeah, hear me now. Yeah.
Right. Hear me now. See when you're watching a video, John, and you're watching on your phone, how do you scan the thing? I've always wondered that.
I think you can.
You just open your camera and it gives you the link.
No, is there no part where you can... I don't know, can you not screenshot that?
You can, but if you click it, it takes you away. Yeah, it takes you away from the video. It takes me away anyway.
Yeah.
I've got a Google phone. My phone's a pure spy. You can, yeah, but mine takes me away. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, but again, I put the description in, but it's just, I say, Craig, you don't like asking, but you know, this is.
Do you remember when you did that thing with Adam? And Adam was setting up the GoFundMe for the last thing. You should have done that again, because he got me to write the blurb for it when he was setting it up, and that was paid in like a week, wasn't it? I mean, you didn't really ask for too much. What did you ask for? £1,000, was it, or something to do the whole thing?
So when we done the last one in Glasgow, so we had to pay for the PA system. I might have to set up a GoFundMe for this one because there might be some things we need to pay for. So pretty much. I would just do that, and I would do it straight away. I'm good at doing the GoFundMe, so I'm happy to help with it. I need to figure out what I still need to pay for. I think I'm going to need to get some stewards. I think we're going to need to pay for a bagpiping and stuff. So we're going to need to maybe put a small GoFundMe up for the thingy.
I was just going to say then, Craig, when you mentioned Calais, my family are Parisian, and I've been sent stuff over from Paris. So like, we've had the same property over in Paris for, how old am I? 26 years. And outside of that flat, it's Rue de Bouffles around there. And it is absolutely unfucking recognisable. Like, that's somewhere where I wouldn't say I grew up, but it's somewhere where I've been a few times and everything like that in that area. And it is absolutely unrecognisable. Now it's terrifying.
People are saying that when
whereabouts is it in relation to
it's Paris.
Dialects?
Yeah, well, my geography is shocking. It's in the centre, yeah, but I think it's south of centre.
Yeah, and it's changed like that over 20 years. It's just unrecognisable.
Well, I wouldn't even say over 20 years, probably less. But I've never really been warm to France and Paris, to be honest. It's not like one of my favourite places to go, and I've got family further south, which is in Everett and stuff like that. I've never found it, very warming, the people over there, the bastards. They're my family of French. Yeah. But now it's just got a different level to it, a different feel. So I was meant to go over the week before last, and we didn't go. I've just put it off, to be honest.
The French are the kings at bloody. The French have been very
protesting because they will shut down any fucking parliament. any prime minister, if they are protesting, they are taking the day off work, they are losing wages, liberty, they understand the difference between someone turning up on a Friday afternoon when Parliament's semi-closed and everyone's fucked off for the weekend, and turning up on a Monday morning and actually taking to the streets. There is absolutely no one like them. Love them or hate them, there's no one else who protests like the French in the whole of the world. Unbeatable. But we haven't got that, unfortunately. I mean, we might do, but Saturday protests are not the way forward.
No, I agree with that. I totally agree.
Basil sent me a WhatsApp link to this that he's just put on Twitter. And I just shared you breaking news. The Labour Council leader of Peterborough Council has referred to victims of G-gangs as white trash in a WhatsApp message. Councillor Dennis Jones is a disgrace. He should be fired.
Colour me shocked. And not depressed at all.
Yeah. Also white British cops effing poor white trash in Rotherham is okay. Get an effing grip, Daisy. You're aiming for populist votes and attention. Forgive me, but you are bright enough to know what you're doing, and politically I wish you no luck at all. But you know what you are setting out to do. Get them your sweetest pout and see above for a likely outcome. Okay.
And these are the people in charge of the money in the country. These are the people that we're paying taxes to, that want to label molested and raped children as white trash. It's unbelievable, honestly. It's so upsetting.
It really is becoming more evident that the people in Parliament are,
they absolutely fucking hate us. They hate us.
It seems to be why is there so many of them in power that have got things connection with children? It's frustrating.
Look at what guys. Just look at the WhatsApp he's replying to here. It says, "I care about safety, and why should immigration put women's safety at risk?"
But why does he feel so? So what else goes on within this group, Craig, that he feels so comfortable to use that kind of terminology and language in front of other women, where he wouldn't get told off and someone wouldn't whistleblow? What else are these people saying behind our backs? It's not just one person; it's all of them saying it. That's why he's been so comfortable.
Do you know what, Alex? You've got a stalker.
Why? Well, I don't read the comments.
Look who's followed us in here.
What is that? Basil?
Because I'm stealing some of your patter here, Basil. It's Basil.
Basil temperature.
He's not talking.
Hello,
don't encourage him.
It slows it down, Craig.
I'm doing this on my phone for the first time. Can you hear us okay?
Unfortunately.
No, we can't hear you, mate.
How the hell have you ended up on ALX?
Are you following me?
Well, I just got a really weird DM. Someone DM'd me to say Craig Houston's talking about.
Craig's what?
Craig Houston's talking about
Basil. Oh, what about his Wi-Fi? When he said he's on his phone, he meant he's got his Nokia out again, hasn't he?
Because his Nokia out. He's not even old enough for a Nokia, I don't think. Let's just say, I'm trying to think.
I've got a Nokia that's older than him.
What was that? I had one of them 5280, did I have? I had one of them. I'm just trying to think, what was the lady's name? And I'm going to call her a lady, just because of her body parts, for nothing else. She was a Labour MP, and she basically said, why don't the grooming gang girls just shut up and keep their mouth shut and stop causing trouble? It was along that kind of lines that she said, and that came out. And she wasn't even sacked about that. Honestly, it is shocking. It still shocks me how they can just sweep this under the carpet week in and week out. I'm trying to think what her name is now.
I think as well, what we forget is Matt Hancock. How that man is still, it seems to be that man's just forgotten about.
Right, we've got a first-time call in the room, so I don't know if you've watched the show before, Basil, but there's rules for when you start your first discussion. So how can we help you, Basil?
He's not there. He mustn't know what to do.
He doesn't know how to work IT, the poor lad.
Right, so Naz Shah, who was a Labour MP, this came to light in June, and she basically said that they should shut their mouths. So if you do full fact check on this, it says that she doesn't, and it was taken out of context, and that she retweeted this by accident. And it wasn't from her, it was from a parody account, and she did it all by accident in 2017, and it was a genuine accident. But those abused girls, and this is quote, those abused girls in Rotherham and elsewhere just need to keep their mouths shut, full stop, for the good of diversity, full stop. That's what she put.
What does that mean, diversity? What does that mean?
Well, you know, diversity is our strength at the moment, apparently. Make of that what you will. Because we're
Did you hear the
crumbling.
latest rumours on Twitter, Alex, about Basil? He's a Freemason that's being funded by Mossad now.
I thought you were going to say that he was trans. I didn't know that.
Well, we knew that. That's so yesterday. See that week or two you were off Twitter? That's all been done, right? We've done that today.
Why we've not even touched on that boy that got arrested, the comedian boy yesterday. I mean, that's ridiculous.
He's not a boy.
Well, the guy, whatever. But the tweets they put out, was it 2000? When was it put the tweets out?
I don't know, but the one that actually just made me just think, where are we at as a nanny state? I can smell that picture, or I can smell them from here. So what? I can't say that someone smells that. This is so childish and so petty. I mean, one of the other ones where he said, you know, punch them in the balls. I could see how that could possibly be, you know, put forward as something. But then again, you know, free speech absolutist here. I mean, not for me. But the one where he says, I can smell that photo. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. Hi, Basil, are you back?
Is that working now?
It is. It is. Well done.
Right, sorry about that. I tried to do something different and do this one. It just didn't work at all. Anyway, sorry, I got to.
So we've got a first time caller. Welcome to the show, Basil. You know the rules. You know how to introduce yourself.
Houston, we have a problem.
Well done,
Houston, we have a problem.
Well,
yeah, I got a DM, mate. Someone said that when Craig's talking about you on his show, and I went, what? And then I looked, and obviously I just sent you that message, and I was like, I'm surprised you even picked it up, to be honest with you. But how shocking is that? Unbelievable, right?
We're just covering it just as you came in.
I've just said then, Basil, about what Naz Shah said as well. And that was picked up, wasn't it, a few months ago?
Awful, I know. These people, right, they think they're right. They're like, that's okay behaviour. It's disgusting beyond belief. And now just to let you know a bit of the background of this, right? I know Daisy Blakemore a little bit. I interviewed her once, and we've become like kind of, you know, pals as you do. So we've been texting a bit, and when I saw that, I immediately rang her up, and I was like, Daisy, is that legit sort of thing? Because I couldn't believe my eyes, and she was like, yes, that's Labour leader councillor. She told me his name, so I put it out there, and I was like, this is how these people speak behind the scenes. This is what Councillor Dennis Jones, who is the leader, is talking like when he thinks no one's watching.
But
that's
Basil,
what he thinks.
But this is what he's responding to. Somebody, whoever's put this out, has doxed himself because it's got you in the title, so it's obviously their message is responded to. I care about safety, and why should immigration put women's safety at risk?
That's Daisy.
Even the point, right? So the point that he's responding to, it's just like, you wouldn't answer somebody like that. Do you know what I mean? And the terminology is used.
Again, if you go back to the COVID days with Matt Hancock's WhatsApp messages that all get leaked as well, these people don't care about this. It's that simple. They don't care. They think they can do it. They think they're invincible, and this is just more evidence. More evidence they'll think they're invincible.
Well, just breaking down the message, right? So this is Dennis Jones saying this. Oh, so white British cops fucking poor white trash in Rotherham is okay, is it? Right? So obviously his point there being is that, like, you're focusing on the immigration side of things. What about the white guys, right? So that he's making what he's thinking, he's making a credible point there. He's referred to those girls as poor white trash. He's put, get a fucking grip, Daisy. That's who he's talking to. You are aiming for populist votes and attention. Now, just for a bit more background for those who are unaware, the reason why Daisy Blakemore, she was the youngest Labour councillor at the last elections, right? Youngest in the country. So this is just back in May, was it? We had them, yeah? And she's 18 years old. And the reason she got kicked out of the Labour Party was because she wanted CCTV to be installed mandatory in Peterborough cabbies, taxis, right? Because they'd had a raise in sexual assaults, right? And all of the Labour Party rounded on it. Tories and all that said, we'll support you. They all rounded on it and said, absolutely not. That's racist. She didn't mention a race. She didn't say anything. Now, obviously, most of the cabbies are Asian in that area, and that's what's caused the problem. But the fact that the Labour Party just are obsessed with protecting migrants at any cost, doesn't matter who gets attacked, it flabbergasts me to this day. I don't know how these people sleep at night. I really don't.
Mate, I'm just looking right at the screen. Have I got a really big forehead?
Aye. Have you just noticed?
Oh, a 4 forehead, man. It's a 5-inch.
I don't know what's going on here, right? But my head looks bigger than normal. See from there to there. There's Lex. She just dropped out. She couldn't believe what the question was. Right, so we're going to.
I asked to drop rather than answer the question. To be honest, sorry.
Right. Well, we've got I'm going to put this to a poll in the audience, right? I don't know what's going on, but I've not got a small head, right? But my forehead looks like as if it's a lot bigger than normal.
Remember that movie, Cone?
Shut up, you.
I can't change my avatar. Do you know what? I was going to put my camera on because I couldn't change my avatar, but I'm not now because I've got a really big forehead as well.
Well, you probably understand this one.
Measure up, Lexi. Get the camera on.
Listen to it. It's not your fault. You're a Von Choose baby.
Aye, Houston, we have a forehead. What is going on? I look like one of the alien things out the 60s movies.
Do you know what I'm going to say? And don't take this the wrong way, Craig, but you absolutely look no different than you normally do, so make of that what you will, mate. Sorry. Just looks normal.
See, ask the question. Why is Lex not showing a picture?
You haven't got your picture up? Why is my picture not coming up?
Because there would be people drilling on how much your heat got big when you hit 10,000 followers, mate. I think that's Martian's X account, isn't it? Oh, brilliant. Oh, Basil,
remove trans page, edit name, edit avatar. Stop. It's so confusing.
I need to keep off this.
I just thought we all look the same.
He's a way to sort that out. He's a way to try and shoot.
He didn't look any different to me.
He'll go and get that scarf on, won't he?
Basil, that's not a Conehead. That's Humpty Dumpty.
All the same.
What's he up to?
Basil, did you see Farage talking about Lucy today?
I did, yeah.
She sent it to me before, so she was meant to go over and they blocked her. No, because she was meant to be there, but she said she's tired now, she can't be asked and she wanted to stay at home for a bit, so she's glad she's at home. So think of that what you will as well.
Aye.
That's it. You've just done yourself. You've just absolutely done yourself. Now everybody's looking at your massive phone.
I'm actually, this is my laptop here, right? And I've now got a 40 whatever inch telly here, right? It's massive. It's absolutely, I wish I could take a photo of what I'm looking at. It's absolutely humongous. Anyway, can we get back to sensible talk?
You brought it up.
Bobby, you put something in the private chat, and I missed it, right? And then I asked you up, and you weren't there. So, what? Tell us what you're talking about in the private chat, because it looks like it's going to be something that's right up there with the last few were telling us about, which loads of people right into, by the way.
Let me get back online. I get so much running about my screen just now. Get rid of that and bring that back in.
I'll kill some time, right? It's just to get a big heat, right? You don't get this carry on in Twitter, do you? This is far better than Twitter Spaces. This is the future.
I don't like it because when you click back, it literally brings you back out the room. It's not a very good. It's not very user friendly, is what I'd say.
Oh, you're on your phone.
I've got complaints. Yeah, I've always got complaints. Never with the money.
I don't use my sunscreen and glasses.
That's me back.
Right, you've got the floor, young man.
Thank you very much. I was asking a couple of questions. Basically, I've not heard anyone discussing the books that are in the school libraries and the public libraries
Alex
all
is all
across
over
the
that
UK.
one. Alex is all over. She used to work.
She?
I mean,
Well,
you crack on with that one. We'll just sit back and listen. She'll.
All boys
she'll
aren't blue. This book is gay.
So basically, there's a book. It's by Amy Fabricant, and it's called When Kayla Was Kyle. There's a couple of other books as well, but basically, this is exploring, trans. Are you in the wrong body? Stuff like that. The RSA framework, relationship, sex education. This is mandatory learning. Cannot come out of this whatsoever, and it's different school to school. So just because if your child's in full-time England and Wales education, it's mandatory. The learning's slightly different in Scotland. It's called something else, but it's along the same lines again. These books where I worked, it was a rainbow friendly school. So this was mainstream school. What I'd say is that we live in a very charmed area. Me and my kids, it's not that far away, but the demographics completely different. So it was 95% or 96% on universal credit, free school meals. These were the poorest demographic of the whole of Liverpool within. Well, I didn't want to say which area, but within the area that I live in. A lot of them don't have English as the first language that they speak. I had year 2 children, which is age 6-year-olds. There was 2 child carers within the class, 1 boy and 1 girl. One's mum was on drugs, and the other dad was, she had health issues as well, but dad was an alcoholic. And, children caring and stuff like that, where children getting told off about uniforms. They're coming into this school, and as long as they get a mark by lunchtime, we're happy. As long as we can see a pull from that child's arm and they've turned up, we are happy. And then when I started looking at the books, I was a carer for a non-verbal ASD child. And I only did this for 18 months while I was out of my proper job. So I went back to childcare, which is what I did when I left school. When you're reading these books and you've got children 8 and 9, my daughter was 8, 9-ish, and my son was like 13, 14. It made me start looking at their framework and what they were given. The books that we're reading, I did actually take pictures, and I'm never ever going back into the sector. So I'm happy to say, for safeguarding, it was never done around children or anything like that. But the books, the library that you're reading is absolutely insane. No child below the age of 18 should be told that they are in the wrong body. And it is indoctrination, in my opinion, to do this, to leave them open. It's okay to be gay. You are probably gay if you've got these feelings. And gender dysphoria is a mental illness. We should not be backing this whatsoever. Just because you could be, and some people are over the age of 18, I use it as an example. It's legal to tattoo your eyeballs in the age of 18. Should we be telling children that you can do this and it's an option? Well, probably not now. So, it's for me, it's up there as one of the issues, but this is just another prong. This is what I said about these teachings. I think it is to push for depopulation. It's part of this 5-pronged attack that they're doing, and it's working. I'll be honest with you. It's very sad. Confused children. But anyway, sorry, come on.
See, as you say, it's right. It's a mental illness, right? Gender dysphoria is, regarded as a mental illness. It is the only mental illness that we actually confirm to the person.
I use this as an example all the time.
Yeah.
If you're paranoid schizophrenic, they're out to get you. They're out to get you. If you're anorexic, you're fat.
You do that. Fill your boots, mate.
It's crazy.
You're fat.
It's crazy.
You look really chubby. That dress makes you look fat. You're right. We don't do it with any other mental illness, but with that we go, you what? You're a boy. Yeah. Okay. Well, what name do you want to be called now? It's absolutely bonkers.
Non-binary.
But do you know what it is as well? And I don't want to use that, that proverb about well, I don't even know if it's a proverb, but that example about bad apples and stuff like that. But I know that my child is white, blondish, straight, And she goes into school and she has a day for, slavery. She has a day for, Black History Month. She has Pride Month that goes on for about fucking 18 months of every year. Then she's got Neurodivergent Week. She's not neurodivergent. And I think, when's her day? When's my little girl's day? When's she celebrated? Because every single other little tiny box is celebrated and she's always there clapping for everyone else. And I thought, you know what? They don't even take the kids who fall between all these things and make a fuss of them anymore, Craig. And I think people are desperate for these labels. These children coming through, they're almost desperate for a label to be seen. And this is why it was important to mention how poor that school was that I worked in, because sometimes these children would come and ask me for a hug and you had to hug side by side, and you could tell that child probably didn't have one all day and didn't have anyone look in the face or give them any attention. So do you know, when we're reading these books and we're letting them take them home, or let's colour in rainbow guys and all this, that is making them have a connection to that core subject. And that is indoctrination. It really is, when these children haven't got much else going on. It's sad. It really is sad. But as I say, it's an unpopular opinion within the sector, but it's not a sector I'll ever fucking go back to, so I don't give a shit. That's my opinion.
No, thanks for that. You're absolutely right.
Can I just say, Craig, somebody donated £5 into my PayPal, so I really appreciate that. Just want to say that.
Well done, thank you, whoever that was. Now we've got Eddie. He's coming up.
Wants 250.
He owes me 250. How you doing, Eddie? What's your chat tonight, buddy?
Hello, Craig. How you doing, friend? All right. Hello, everyone.
I'm bang average, mate. Bang average, but I'm moving north. We're moving north. Don't worry about it.
Which way do you want me to go? Landscape or portrait?
Landscape if you can. It'll fit better, but it's up to you, mate. We're no professionals on you.
I'm going to join back so we don't have any technical difficulties.
Turning your phone could kill my Wi-Fi.
Young Eddie, I'm curious to you, mate. I mean, you're pretty much on the same page as myself and many others. Can you still hear us?
The landscape killed him.
I'm not taking the blame for that one. That's not a Wi-Fi issue. Basil's disappeared as well. There must be a space on somewhere that he's wanting to go and annoy somebody. He
got off when I started talking about trans. Suspicious, eh?
Aye. He was getting off that noise you were going in home. He's a new set.
Basil in his bra.
Myself, because I didn't want to interrupt anybody whilst I was away making a cup of tea.
Good for you. Molten too.
I'm wondering where Eddie is. I'm wondering where young Eddie is, because I'm curious too.
Let's sing Eddie okay. I don't know. I seem to be the kiss of death on everyone.
Eddie, are you okay, Eddie? Eddie, are you... So is my new mic only working when I do this, John?
Unfortunately, it's working now.
What it is, it's quite... So see when you're away, you're getting like the kind of tinniness around the room. So see when you've got it close to your mic. I don't know.
Got it here.
I don't think... It's been perfect for me all night, to be honest, Craig.
No,
I'm always perfect. Do you know what, Alex? Do you know why we're giving you so much space tonight? Because you're only the third woman ever to call in. The very first caller we had was a woman, right? And I thought, I can't cope with this, right? If we're going to get on as a woman, come up and just tell me that.
I'm not like a normal woman, though, to be fair.
You're like a guy woman. You're like a guy bird, right?
I'm like a chick with a dick.
Non-binary.
And we had another woman in about a week ago, and I was like, hold on a minute, where's all the women? So we're delighted. I want Maurice to come up. I want Eddie to come back up, because Eddie's always going to have good chat.
Eddie actually rang me the other day. My phone was ringing. It looked like a WhatsApp call, and I thought, what the hell is that? And then it was him ringing me through Twitter, and I was like, I didn't even know people could do that. Do you know what I mean? So he gave me a little phone call the other day, and I was like, that's weird. So
I've had a couple of them, and it
disabled that now. I was going to say I didn't like it at all.
Do you know, I didn't realise I had my EM set to friends only or followers only or whatever, right? And I was needing information, so I had to open them up, right? And I found this other thing that tells you it's like messages.
The archive.
No, it was hundreds of them. It was all these really 30-something women all wanted shockingly an interest in me, and I thought, well, I'm popular.
People ask me for feet pictures. Have you been getting people asking you for feet pictures, Craig?
I've got another one.
Funnily enough, no.
Hey, I've got another one.
Some folk asking for forehead pictures after the night. Eddie's.
Craig, quickly, can you
Eddie's
hear me?
okay.
Hold on, 2 seconds. Just another one. Someone else donated to my PayPal, so thank you very much for that.
Oh my gosh.
Just want to say
I'm making you a fortune, young man. You'll
I know. It's good. It's going to cover my hotel. Eddie, I just want to address young Eddie. Eddie, how you doing, kid?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. I want to know how Lex is feeling that Lucy's been released. I've not had a chance to. I was listening, but I had to get cut out before. Lex, how you feeling?
I'm happy. I was meant to be going off this weekend, but something else has come up. I'm getting a phone call. Something else has come up, but basically, yeah, we're happy that she's home, everything like that. She was meant to go over to America, and we've said that she couldn't go over. She's had any protests to go to, so that could be a protest for anything women's rights or anything like that. She's not allowed to go to that either. So she's been good enough. I don't think I need to be on main screen. Put me back, please, Craig. I don't like it.
I'll get you.
I don't like it. I was all right when I was dizzy.
Yeah, but you need to get yourself
she's happy enough.
Women in Pink March, Lex.
So basically, I think she would have been interested in going in to the one that's upcoming, without going into it too much. But she's not allowed to. She's really not allowed to. So, and there's a farmers one on the 28th of September in Liverpool, which is when the Labour conference is on a Sunday. And I asked if she could go to that, and she can't even go to that with me. So she's pretty much stunted at the moment.
That's the thing, Craig. We should try and get down to Liverpool for the one on the 28th, because again, it's another Labour conference. I think a lot of people. But I want to ask Eddie, out of curiosity, mate. You're on the same page as myself and many others. You've seen, I don't know if you've seen the day, but they're talking about the digital ID, mate. What's your views on it?
Well, who was it? John F. Kennedy said, "I'm from. If you're from the government, I'm here to help. Run the other way." I wouldn't trust this government as far as I could throw, or any other government. It's just they cause the problem. They bring in the solution, don't they? And yeah, it's just another step into ultimate tyranny, if you ask me.
What do you think?
Blair tried it first, failed, and now
I said this in 2009, but you know who actually blocked it? The coalition blocked it. It was the Lib Dems and the Tories, but it was mostly the Tories who actually didn't want it to go through. And then, obviously, with COVID and the vaccinations, he was going back on in 2023, and William Hague was backing him then, who'd actually been his initial opposition to it. So, I mean, it's quite telling, isn't it, when they've obviously been against it. William Hague, 16 years ago, and now he's for it. And then in April this year, he put something else on about it, and it's just a hill he's willing to die on at the moment. It's going to keep going until we do something about it, and that's going to have to be getting rid of, digital ID within schools, the ULEZ cameras on the roads. London has got the most cameras per square, so there's one every 10 people now. If you walk around in 2 hours, the minimum you can be photos is 11 times. It's absolutely fucking insane. There's almost 1 million now. There's 920,000 cameras in our city centre as it stands now. It's coming up to 1 million cameras.
It's the same with these protests. They've got cameras are everywhere. London's the most heavily surveilled cities in the entire world. So
I think China pips it somewhere. But we're only pipped. Yeah. 100%. But I said this about the police with the body cams and stuff like that. We've had this for some time, where we go, we are the media and we can film. They've been filming us for years and years. You only have to look at the ULEZ and stuff like that and the lampposts that we've got in, and don't even start me on electric cars and whatever else goes on in them lampposts either, because that is conspiracy, but it looks like that's true as well. Just as well, Matt's not on here.
John, just to get a wee update, one of the guys who reached out to me last week about another topic has just messaged me on WhatsApp saying, I can get John a piper. Here's the phone number. Gave me the woman's name. It's his sister. And I've got a phone number to give you. And he says she's one of the best pipers in the world. And his brother is quite a well-known artist as well. He said he's busy at that point, but there's probably a chance again.
No, brilliant. That'll help. That'll help the cause.
I'll forward you the message.
September 13th, guys. We all going?
Yep.
I've been offered a free train ticket, so I can't really say no, but I'm meant to be in work, so I don't know how I'm going to be in two places, but I've got friends who are down there. I've got someone who can give me a lift back, and I've got an overnight ticket that's given to me for free now off a girl on TikTok, so I suppose I can't really not go, but I get active, I go.
September 20th, Glasgow. You coming?
John,
I might just make September and October a month for protests, to be fair. Just do them all. When is it? September 20th?
September 20th, Saturday, the Canning Gallery steps.
Potentially,
John, it's happened already.
I've never been.
I've just been sent a flyer, right? Join us, counter protest on Saturday, the 20th September, to say no to the far right in Glasgow, Buchanan Gallery steps at 12 noon.
We've made it. We've fucking made it.
I'm actually going to that one, guys.
So now they've got the counter protest for the Saturday, the 20th.
But your protest's at 1, isn't it? So they're starting at 12.
So they're starting at 12.
They're starting at 12.
So they've already saying they're hijacking the steps.
You know what does my head in about all of these counter protests? They whenever you have a conversation with them, they always turn and you say, "Oh, why are you here?" They always turn around to you and say, "Oh, we want to show solidarity to the so-called refugees, asylum seekers, illegals, call them what you will. We're here to show solidarity with them. We're not here just to antagonize you. We're not here just to cause trouble. That's why we come all masked up. Okay, so if you're not here just to antagonize them, to provoke a reaction, why wouldn't you come and show solidarity with them on the, when did you say yours was, the 20th? Why wouldn't you show solidarity with them on the 15th, on the 16th, on the 17th, on the 18th? Go and take them a box of chocolates and a big care package.
Eddie, let me tell you some of the speakers that are on that stage, right? And you want to counter protest. We've got a man called Alex Mitch with his leg amputated from the COVID-19 vaccine who's only asking for help. We've got a woman who represents now that Scotland's just been announced as the #1 drug capital of Europe, right? How are you going to counter protest? We've got Alex Kearney who protects children. How can you counter protest a rally when we are worried about the future of our country? It goes to show you. And you know what? I hope that Glasgow turns out so much that they won't get anywhere near these steps. So I'm hoping that you all bring the fucking noise, man.
And do you know what? It was released last week, well, about 3 days ago, that Glasgow is now the asylum capital of the UK. You have got fucking issues. We've kept you away from it. England have kept you away from it for years. And we've seen, ports like Liverpool, Newcastle and seaside towns where they wanted to shove them in. Glasgow being the asylum capital is mental. It means that you were amenable to it. It's gone under the radar and you have done fuck all about it to the detriment, and you're at this point now. Well, we'll see if there's any changes to be made, but I can't see how anyone can argue with that, because it's been said time and time again now.
Unbelievable, and it just goes to show you, like you said, they've got a far right. Craig, can you tell me anything I've just announced there is far right? We have just been. We have just been announced. We've not even told the speakers. We have just been announced as Glasgow's capital of Europe of drugs, and we've got a woman who's representing that on these steps, and you want to fucking counter protest that? My bloody God!
Anyway, we've got a new first-time caller in the room. I'm just going to bring him up on stage. Kevin the Ranter, how are you?
I'm coming September 20th.
All right, mate.
Bring the noise in.
Right, Kev. What have you been up to?
So I'm standing outside Holyrood,
right,
and I've laid a flag of Scotland right at the very doorstep of that building.
Okay.
I've done a wee video. I'm not going to say it's the greatest, you know me.
No, but listen, I think we need to explain what the build-up to this and why you've done it. I know why you've done it without even asking you. Could you tell the good people that are maybe down south or don't know what happened today in Edinburgh at Parliament? Two things happened.
Aye. So John Swinney, as usual, talking about everything bar Scotland. The Scottish HQ building, they raised the Palestine flag, and they also raised the Palestine flag in front of Holyrood, and I'm getting sick of it. I'm not putting up with this anymore. It's complete gaslighting. It's virtue signalling, and I know John keeps going on about division. The people in that building are creating that division. If they want to talk about any other country than other than the people that are meant to represent, then go to the country that you want to represent then. Because as people know in their country, our NHS is absolutely bust, as it seems. We've got women and children up and down this country under threat. The story that absolutely killed me was that story of John McCutcheon, and I hope you don't mind that I've mentioned his name in that video. Because I think people need to see that video. I mean, 92-year-old, 35-year veteran, sits on the steps of Tesco every single day in Perth, asking for money. It's not good enough. So I got me a bit angry the day again. So I came through. It's absolutely launching it down the rain. Anybody that knows, I don't drive a car. I came through in my scooter. So I'm already soaked to the skin. That's one way through. And I just came through and just done a video. I'm not the greatest speaker. I'm not as good as yourself and John and Alec and all the other people that they speak, like young Eddie there and Martin and things like that. I just say what I've got to say, and if it makes any sense, it makes sense. And that's exactly why I came through here tonight. But I've laid a flag of Scotland right at the very front door of Holyrood, where they'll be walking in tomorrow morning. So hopefully it'll still be there tomorrow morning.
So you said you've made a video, Kev?
Aye, mate, aye.
Where's the video?
Once I get home, I'll upload it. It's about 15 minutes long. As I say, it might not be the most coherent. Aye. It's maybe not the most coherent, as you know. I mean, I've kind of got a scattergun approach when I'm talking.
Right,
Sorry,
I just want to paint a picture, right? I just want to paint a picture for those that don't know you with Kevin's scooter, right? It's no Margaret or Benidorm scooter. It's more Ace Face or Quadrophenia scooter, right? It doesn't take him 3 days to go 10 miles. It's a scooter that's capable of about 65, 70 miles an hour. It's still fair play to you, mate. Some Norrie's asking here, can you clarify that that's the veteran in Perth? Yeah, that's who we're talking about, mate, John McCutcheon. And I think a lot of people have took that old boy to his heart. I was given the video by Donna, who was a guest of mine on a podcast that John had interviewed at a rally, and she got some coverage, mainstream media, with her efforts. And she made the video, gave it to me, and I put it out on Twitter and in a couple of videos that I spoke about. And it's just frightening. He's a 92-year-old man. And to be honest with you, he is begging, but I don't think his prime driver is the money. I think because he does mention it. So she says, why are you doing this, John? And she says, he said, well, since my wife died, I've made a few friends. I think it's more companionship that old boy needs. And I kind of hope I've reached out to a few veterans associations, and his regiment was the Black Watch. And I think a few of the boys are going to just make sure he's got all the companionship he needs. This is the first week for about a month I've not had at least one trip to Perth. But if I've not got it into my diary for next week to go to Perth, I'll be making an effort just to go up to see the old boy and just give him a cuddle and buy him a tea. Because old men like that deserve anything that they need. And if that is just companionship, then that's what they'll get. If it is money, we'll sort that as well. That man was 35 years serving our army, and he was there saying that, you know, he upset. And he wasn't even talking bad about asylum seekers or migrants. He was actually saying, I like people that come here that, you know, add to the economy, but the ones that are not and are in these hotels, I kind of don't understand why they're getting put up in 5-star hotels, given money, food, and everything that they need. And you think, he's 92. He spent 35 years of his life for Queen and Country. And if he just needs a pal, then we'll get him all the pals that he needs in the world.
it was a hard one. Last week was hard with the two young lasses, and then obviously old John, and it was two generations that were completely letting down. And look, as I say, I mean, I'm not the greatest of speakers. It's just usually a scattergun approach. Whatever comes into my head is what I say, and hopefully the message will get across. But listen, I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it. There's a lot of people being as a lot of inspiration right now. Yourself, John in particular. John in particular right now as well, who's really stepped up as well in recent times as well. Really found a bit of fire in his belly, and trying to give people a platform in order to come and speak. Yourself, Craig, who just goes absolutely anywhere that's required, just to make sure you get the message out there. I've had the good fortune of seeing Alec P. Spartan talking down in Falkirk. I've seen obviously Ryan H. Speaking as well. So we've got a lot of good people trying to do something, and once I get everything sorted with the laptop and things like that, I get a bit more professional, get a bit more tips off of you and John and other people that are doing the same thing right now. Hopefully I'll get a bit more clearer and a bit more professional, because I'm just sick of this. I can't get that video out of my head with John, and I'm standing there in Falkirk on Saturday, and I was telling somebody for the Herald that story, and over on the roads, two of the balloon brigade were standing laughing, and it actually got me so angry. I actually told one of them to get round the corner, and they can fucking laugh at that point, because I was raging. I mean, how dare they laugh at that man? He stood on a front line and gave them the opportunity to go and counter-protest against anything that they feel like they want to counter-protest against. That's not what that man fought for. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not doing it anymore.
Well,
just to clarify Angela's point here, he's not homeless. He's just lonely. His wife died. He's 92, probably 35 years after that. He's probably spent every minute with his wife. You can just tell he's that type of character. So no, he is not homeless.
Craig, how many people you got in your live, mate? How many you got in your live?
Kev, you guys September 20th, right?
What, sorry?
I'll be in London, right? He was going to the little shindig on September 20th, the far right gathering.
Oh, Kev will be in September 20th.
The one John's organised.
John's going to be in
You're quite a star in the... You're quite a star.
I'll take that lead all day long.
Kev, I don't know you're having trouble because you're outside, but Eddie's talking and you're just shouting at the top of him. You can't hear him.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry, Eddie. What were you saying?
I was saying, Craig, you're quite a star in the left wing.
The
left wing communities, aren't you? I've seen the posters about you. Stop the far right. Quite a flattering picture as well. I'm pretty disappointed that I've not. I've seen the YouTubers getting audited at that. On the paper, I'm pretty disappointed that the far left haven't attacked me. Yeah, I get more attacks from people on our side.
What have you seen me being the subject to some far left spin? Have you?
Yeah, remember that poster that they put up about which protest was it? It was 100% you. Not too long ago as well. Only probably about 3.
I think it was up in Peterhead. I think it was either Peterhead or
I spoke to you on Basil's about it. Yeah, it'll be the first time coming up there.
So the thing is, it's like I said, Craig, we've now got them wanting to counter something when they don't even know the speakers. My question to you is, see if you're sick of them, just show up. But I'm asking you to keep it peaceful and ignore them. Ignore them. But the problem is, we're going to have to keep it as peaceful, and we're going to have to do the best we can.
John, see if there's a counter-protest, right, and I don't at least commit 30 seconds of my talk time to slagging the goon platoon, Kevin will talk to me anymore. I need to say something to them. It started in Manchester, right? Me and Kev drove into Manchester, and I'm speaking, and before I went, look, guys, see, before I start, I've got something I want to tell you, but I need to talk to them first. And I just started shouting at the gun platoon. And then Kev's like that, up and Peter Heath.
Most of them will give an interview. There will be. I don't know if you follow. You don't really fuck around with TikTok too much, do you, Craig? But there's an account on there who's one of my favourite. Well, I'm too old for it as well, but you know. So Political, I know you know him, John. He is one of the biggest lefties going ever, and he has me up occasionally where he can stomach me, and then I'm normally dropped down and told off. But basically, he did some interviews up in Liverpool. I'll send them over to you if you've got an account and you can view them. So he actually was getting people to talk to him, but because he looks like one of those crusty left-wing people. So I suppose if you get rid of the big forehead and have some like dreads or something on, people might want to speak to you a little bit more.
I just want to say...
Right. Excuse me a wee second, guys. I'm leaving the room. I can't take much more of that thing.
Listen, I'm going to disappear anyway, Craig. I'm going to drive home, so I'll catch up with you.
I'm going to go and visit the wee room along the corridor for a wee 30-40 seconds, right? So could you just
I'm in
chat
court on September 8th, talking about encounters with the left. I'm in court with one Antifa member on September 8th. There's an exclusive for you, Craig.
He's off, Eddie.
He's away.
Awesome, guys. Awesome, guys. I'm going to get gone because it's actually launching it down the rain here. So I'll catch up with you later. I'm just saying, I'm going to get going, Lexi, because it's actually launching down the rain up here. So
it sounds like a lovely Scottish summer.
Aye. Well, aye. I'll catch up with you later, guys.
Ta-ra, mate.
Laters, Kev, mate.
So are you up in court, are you, lad?
Not me. I was the victim of a vicious, violent, criminal damage and
do you know what?
assault.
I wouldn't talk about it then. If you're the victim, I definitely wouldn't talk about it. All of these lives are recorded, mate.
Yeah, they've been charged.
If it hasn't gone to court, just me personally, knowing what I know, I wouldn't speak about it.
I'm not going.
It's just the words of the wise there.
I've got it on video. The whole thing was recorded. This is why I've chose not to ruin their lives in the first place. Okay, I know both of their names. I asked them 3 questions. Right, I had this camera. Right, amazing thing. Right, the box is about 2 meters this way from me. Right, it was an absolute horror show from start to finish. Right. This is my look, Lex, right? 24 hours before this, I've gone to Curry's £600 new camera, right? I've gone to Norwich. Here he is, he fits it well.
Much
Is that you sorted for the 20th, the counter protest, Craig?
You'll have to go on big screen. I can't put you on big screen.
That's no Craig. Craig's on the other side of you, bring the noise.
Mashallah, brother.
It's got the tea-towel out. Tea-towel squads for the win.
That's right.
You can't call it a sorted if you.
I'm not going to say what you look like. After my record.
You know what I done, right? He's laugh, right? Right, I was away to Egypt about 10 years ago. Remember that? I went out on a quad bike and they went, get something to cover your face because of the sand. So I bought one of these. And then obviously the sort of accessory for the lefties. And I forgot I had it. And I was clearing out a wardrobe a month or 2 ago. And it was right in the back of the wardrobe. And I was like, oh, it's the very thing for me. So we're going to try and get into
I've just realised I've got one as well. I went quadding in Australia, in Egypt, about 10 years ago. And I've got pictures of me. I look like part of Al-Qaeda, to be honest. I was dressed up. But I've got one of the tea towels as well. Maybe I can come.
This isn't, but excuse me a second, Alex. This isn't a tea towel. This is a proper. It's not even the cheapest one in the shop. This one was like a couple of quid. And
it looks proper spenny, that.
You'll fit right in, you know.
I'm going to find mine.
But I think my dulcet tones would give it away as soon as I open my bloody mouth. But I
Do you know what though? You can get them in Matalan for £3, and they are all right at drying the dishes as well. So for anyone who wants one, you know they're there.
No, but this is
Packet
actually
two.
not a bad quality thing. Do you know what I mean? But I don't
look
know how
at
to do
it.
it. They done it for me when I went to quad bike and it looked cracking. Right, and there's photos of me in the middle of the desert in Egypt with this thing on. You know, and it's all like hanging nice and all that. But I've never been able to replicate it. But I reckon I could get it up, right? So I'm taking that to meet somebody the other day, right? And I can't remember who it was. Was it you, Kev? And you came in the car and I was sitting on my heat.
Kev's gone.
Kev's gone. I was picking Kev up to go to Aberdeen, I think it was, and I've had it sitting in the car. So he's walked in the car to come in the car, and I've smashed it around my heat, right? He's jumped in the motor. So I was taking it out that day, and I was like, right, so I've got that, and I was like, get my camera, get my drone, get all my shite together, right? And I had to put something down to pick something up. So what I done was, I just put it around my neck like that, right? And I've grabbed all my stuff, and I've ran out to the car. And then I stopped at a shop, and I forgot I've got on, and I jumped out my car, and there was 4 of the jihadi waddies in a car behind me. They were standing outside this car having a talk, right? So I've walked by them, and they've all just went, gave it one of them, right? And I thought, oh, fuck, they recognised me off a video, right? I'm going to get done in here. But they were just in shock staring at me, and I'm like, what the fuck is that all about? And then I realised I still had this on. I'm walking about Glasgow with this on, man. I'm like, oh no, man, my street cred's done.
Craig,
Sorry,
just a quick one.
give me talk.
Quick one. So there's somebody. Well, number one, there's someone else who donated to my buy me a coffee. So thank you very much for that. For helping on my travels. Anyway, and Craig's going to be raging. And another one. Someone's asking about stewards. Yes, I'm looking for volunteers on the day, but I need people that are going to be there as just pure, like the police, just no hostility. People just sitting there and keeping quiet and, you know, just being there to keep an eye on things. That's what we're looking for. So we'll be looking for volunteers. Like I said, it's not my rally, it's everybody's rally. There's multiple people all coming together. Like I say, unity, so many problems, so many issues, one problem. So if you could help it. But Craig, I've well overshot this mark tonight, man.
That's all right.
I'm going to need a boost. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
God. I was going to kick you anyway. You've been doing my
I'm actually going to drop as well because I've got children.
Oh,
so I'm kicking about somewhere.
Can use it at the same time. Right.
I haven't made them up. I do need to go and check on them at some point.
I'm
going to start.
Perth.
Martian's in the room. Martian must have come in the room while I was away getting my jihadi waddy hat.
Who?
Martian.
Marsha.
Yeah, back again.
Fucking Marsha. Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Yeah, actually hear me.
You know.
What's up, everyone? John, what do you need for a PA system, really?
We've got a PA system all donated, mate, so don't worry about that. It's just
we're just going to donate one to me. I'm fucking I'm an audiophile, mate. I just listen to music constantly. Listen.
Well, the thing is, what we've got is so clearly the thing is, what we had was, the Great National Strike. It was just a bloody joke. The fact of the matter is that the police have been notified about this already. So if they go and try and commandeer the steps, then they shouldn't be allowed on the steps, because at the end of the day, we've done it correctly. We've had people in the background who have tried to help doing this. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see in the numbers, in my opinion. At the end of the day, if we don't get the numbers,
this is what driving me insane. All these are on Saturday, and I can't get Saturday off.
Okay,
right, cancel it. No. Martian can't come. Get it cancelled.
Exactly. Make it a Sunday. Make them Sunday from now on.
Tuesday, Martian.
By the way, sorry, Houston, we have a problem. Martian's had too much wine, and he's drinking it out of his coffee mug because he smashed all his wine glasses in the last 6 months.
Well, look, Craig, it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna bow out. And Eddie, amazing, Fat Bobby, Alex, you've done brilliantly. You've actually made his channel, believe it or not. Like you've
how many views did I get you, Craig? For
17
millions.
Is that it? Thousands.
Millions.
Knowledgeable.
Millions, Lex.
I said, Eddie, I do a podcast.
Absolute wildie as well.
I'm not even right wing. I'm right of central is what I say. Right of centre, me mate. Not even far right.
Craig constantly.
I've not got any wings.
He's going to be robbing all my passing out, both of you still for the 20th.
Right. Anyway, I'm going to bow out. Craig.
I need to go and iron some uniforms as well, Craig. Thanks for having me up, Craig.
No
so you've
problem.
took me,
Listen,
you've
Alex,
took my
thanks very much
YouTube.
for coming up. And
You've took me YouTube virginity there, Craig.
Thanks to you. That was one of the things I was coming up to say to you. Just thanks for everything, guys.
She's popped her cherry. Listen, Alex,
guys,
I like that there's women in your own. Martian, shut up. Right, you're back in the next space in the 80s with you, right? Get back to people. Right, Alex, it was great having you. Anytime, I'll send you the links when they're in. Don't feel obliged to come into everyone, but just come in as often as you like, pal. You're always welcome here. Your chat.
Come on, nice one. All right, thanks, guys. See you in a bit.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. Sorry, I know I'm a pain in the arse.
Bye, guys.
Martian. John, see you later on, pal. Martian, you need to calm down.
I'm still under the effects of that anesthetic in my eyeball yesterday, alright?
I so believe. Eddie, right, what have you been up to recently? Where your travels took you and what's been happening since the last time you and I spoke?
Yeah, I actually went to my first Islamic march in Leicester. It was pretty interesting. I've got a video coming out about it, but I've not been very well, so I've just been laid up in bed. But yeah, I've got an interesting video. Did you see it? Basil shared a couple of clips of it. And then apart from that, Milton Keynes as well. Milton Keynes have been protesting, just covering the ones over in our side, really. But yeah, just going with the flow. Did you see that video Basil shared?
When did they share it, Eddie? Was it the one the guys were attacking with sticks, was it?
No, it was 3 or 4 days ago. It was for the 1500 year anniversary of the Prophet, and there was marching down the streets, thousands of them, you know, doing all the chants and waving the flags. It gave me a reality check, to be honest with you, Craig. It really did give me a reality check, because although I had a warm reception, and I'm not going to just sit here and lie and say, oh, there was hostile. I got way more jip off the police, who I think, in my opinion, all on video, will come out soon, put me in a massive amount of danger. They was walking down the street. It was clear what I was doing. I had my camera up. Literally about 20 seconds before this, they gave me some tea and, you know, all of their cultural food and whatever. Let me have it. Got a few videos with them and stuff. I actually received quite a warm reception, to be honest. But it did give me. But yeah, the police following me down the street. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I had about 3 of them. I'm thinking it's not really necessary. You can clearly see what I'm doing. Do you want to be part of this protest? You know, all of that. You'll see all of that. But it did give me a reality check, because we've got a serious uphill battle. I mean, you can see it on the video. Well, on the numerous videos, it's just tons.
What got you going? That's what I was going to say. Is it just the sheer volume of them that sort of freaked you a bit?
Yeah, it was fine. You know, good people. I grew up around half of these. You know, it was in the town which I was born in, and that's only how I knew about it. So I chose to go down just to see. And you know, you read the stats about the British people becoming a minority. You read the stats about how much it's costing in things like NHS translations for people who live here, who are classed as British, who are entitled to, you know, full reign of the NHS, who are entitled to everything that someone like us is entitled to. It's one thing seeing the stats, and then it's another thing actually seeing the sheer volume of it. Like, sure, they're nice people, but would I want my children growing up in an environment like that? Because I was even then, all of the young children all fully burqa'd up and stuff like this, which is you know, I'm not here to cast moral judgment over anybody or over anything. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that's necessarily culturally aligned with Western values. It's not, and it never has been. This is a very new phenomenon, and it's only within, let's say, the start of my lifetime when it actually exploded and it got really bad. So it's got me thinking, if it's this bad now, and we're talking, there was thousands of them all marching down the streets, you'll see it. If it's this bad now, what's it going to be like in another 20 years? I mean, we've got a serious uphill battle.
Yeah, and it's it's weird. Something caught my head. This big forehead of mine. A protest one day, and I kind of, when I'm at protests, right? See, when I'm not talking or talking to somebody, I'm watching what's going on, and I'm input, and considering what's going on here. And I thought, we must, in Europe, in Western culture, probably in general, every country outside that little bit of the planet, the indigenous people are looked after, whether they go to Australia, New Zealand, Alaska, Canada, you know, the prairies in America, wherever. Lots of people, you know, Peruvian areas. The indigenous people have more rights than anybody else. Then you get to the white Western countries, and it's kind of stops. You know, indigenous does become a word. It's not a word you use in any of our culture. It's only for people outside the West that the indigenous people must be looked after. You think, when does it become our turn? When do we get, you know, like, to set up camps, for example, the indigenous people of America, the Native Americans? You know, there's whole areas that they get given, and that's just for you. You do what you like in there. You know, you'll be all right. The Maoris, the Aborigines, they're all got rights in their cultures that kind of, but when they get to us, it's like forgot about. And I can't work that one out. That's a puzzle.
It's almost
that I can't
embedded within our institutions. This self-loathing, this self-loathing is almost embedded within our institutions. Whose tweet was it that got exposed from a few not too long ago? I think it might have been Blair's advisor. I saw a tweet. It was only a couple of days ago, so it should still be on your newsfeed, Craig. It was saying that the English, having an English identity, is evil.
Is that Campbell? Henry Campbell that was the advisor to Blair during the Iraq War. Is that you're talking about? What Campbell? What's his second name? Sorry, I've got to tune Blair.
No, I think you're right. It was only a couple of days ago when it emerged, and it was a really strong self-loathing tweet, and I just can't get my head around it.
I think it's a lot to do with the culture in our schools, mate. And you know, you see these
Alistair Campbell. That's it. Alistair Campbell.
You see these things, videos from America predominantly, and it's white people chaining themselves up like slaves and bowing down and saying, "We're really, really sorry." You're like, stop it. Give your head a shake, right? See the empire. I put a tweet out the other day, and I said, help me here, folks. I want to do a video celebrating things that make the United Kingdom great and made us great previously. So send in your ideas, and there was like photographs of Queen Elizabeth and great engineers and all that. And see the empire. The only thing you ever get taught about the empire was how bad it was. The empire was full of positives. It took a lot of things to other places in the other planet that, you know, they didn't have engineering, they didn't have industry, they didn't have electricity, all that stuff, right? And then we have to feel sorry for all that. We have to forget the positives. We have to forget that even in slavery, that slavery wasn't the white man that started slavery, right? And even when it was at its peak, and there was horrible things, there was boats going into African ports and just basically taking people away over, you know, towards America and Caribbean, etc. But the white guys didn't really come off the boat. There was loads of Africans going and getting these people and bringing them and selling them and making profit. Yet we have to pay all the repatriations. And the trade actually started in what is now the Middle East. That's kind of where it started. And by the way, white people...
That's exactly where it started.
Yeah, white people have been enslaved through history as well. St. Patrick was a slave, right?
White people were enslaved by white people as well.
Aye, so it's not a one-way shot, but when going right the way back to our schools, then that's what you're taught, right? You don't talk about the cost in lives and finances that the British Navy took to the seas to end this thing, this horrific trade, right?
And we've only just finished paying that off.
In 2011, we only just finished paying it off, so within all of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
So we've paid our reparations way and above and beyond.
Yeah, but we don't. Nobody talks about
Reparations
this.
is not one of us for due to pay.
You know, and we need to stop this. We need to stop this self-loathing. The United Kingdom, the British Empire, everything that we gave the world is absolutely fantastic. And see, as a Scottish person that's, you know, from this part of the UK, we've probably contributed far more proportionally than we should have, right? By engineering feats and, you know, even the Bank of England, it was a Scotsman that was behind all the notions with that. The military sacrifices that we've gave has been more than the 10% of the population that we've normally been at, right? And you go, we helped that. But then we've got people in our country, about 45% of them, that hate Britain, right? And they want to tell you how bad the military is and how bad the empire is. You go, we were part of it. So shut up, right? Just sit down and shut up. And I want to just start talking about the positives.
I want to start getting the after parties going after these. I keep missing all the marches, but I'm getting used to these dates now, so we're ready for the discos after it. Getting quite good on them. Okay, I'm saying when we get the after parties going, I didn't finish the 4 o'clock on Saturday, but I can bring a Dex along after it, and I'm getting quite good on them. Remember I was telling you a couple of weeks ago I bought them.
Martian, I'm in my 50s, mate. Right, my after party days were in the 80s. Do you know I've got some pals, right? See the 90s. The 90s must have been the best decade to live through, and I've even got pals. We all survived the 90s.
I was still living the 90s, mate. I'm still living the 90s, mate. That's what's wrong with me.
Can I finish what I'm saying, Martian? Can I finish what I'm saying? Please.
Of course you can, bro. It's yours.
Thank you. I've got pals that lived in the 90s and can actually even remember it, right? So don't talk to me about after parties and all that nonsense. I was doing it 30 years.
I can remember all it. I can't remember the straight days. I can remember all the disco nights, like the club nights. I remember all the shells and the fights after in the 90s too.
I know. Right. Eddie, what are you up to next? What's in your plans over the next week or two?
I don't like to say it online, to be honest. We've got a couple of interesting things before September 13th, which I'm looking forward to. 100% we're going to be doing Epping. I want to be going down Epping again, and I think for what will be my 4th time down Epping. And then, yeah, just a couple of other interesting things. What about yourself, Craig?
This weekend
for September 13th.
The travel's starting to look a bit iffy for here. Everybody, and I was talking to Kevin about this the other day. I said, Kevin, we were talking about this for months, and it's 2 weeks, and we're still not booked how we're getting, right? If it means jumping in a car, I'll jump in the car. I don't care, right? I'll get there. And I need to be there because my party's conference is on the 13th as well, also in the City of London. So it's quite handy that we're not too far apart. So I can't miss it. It's impossible. I don't want to miss it. I was raging that I never went to the last one. I sat and I watched all the live streams coming back for that, and I thought, I can't miss another one. So I went down to the football lads one to try and make up for it a bit, and that was a decent day. But I think the crowds that were there that day will be absolutely dwarfed by what's going to happen on the 13th. The 13th of September 2025 could go down in history as a day that changed European politics. And I'm not just saying British politics. I'm talking about Europe because we don't know the speakers that's coming. This is pan-European. I've seen Tommy was sharing things that was like signs of support from other places in Europe. I think the significance of this will not be realised until probably Monday morning after it, when we all sit back and actually take in what we've witnessed. It could be that powerful. And I think this has got to be a big, massive wake-up call for the establishment to finally say, do you know what? They ain't stopping. And I'm so chuffed that the people in Scotland are finally coming to the party. I'm so chuffed that places like Falkirk are pulling tremendous crowds for the size of that town. Aberdeen, they're just smashing it. They're at it. They're actually doing 2 protests a day some weekends, right? They are absolutely on fire. John's taking up the mantle. We're trying to arrange something in Glasgow, and by God, Glasgow has to get out in its thousands, because if we don't pull crowds bigger than Falkirk and Edinburgh, because we've got 10 times the population, then it'll be a sad indictment in my city. But I'm quite sure that we've had enough. And the reason John was asking me for input about the dates, what dates we should do, and the first bait he put up was this Saturday, would that be? Maybe Saturday 7th or whatever it is, right? 6th or 7th. I went, what you maybe be better doing, John, is, and my thinking behind my proposal was, we'll have loads of people in Scotland that don't go to Tommy's in the 13th, and they'll be kicking themselves like I did at the one previously, saying I wish I'd went. So if we put it on the following week, anybody in Scotland that didn't make it and was kicking herself when you see the crowds, it gives them an opportunity to make up for it. And I'm just so determined to make this success for John especially, but for my city, and we can put it in the map. And I think Eppin's inspired loads of people. Eppin, no doubt, inspired Falkirk, inspired Aberdeen, and inspired cities and towns all around England. And they got a cracking result. And okay, it's a wee bit, the VAR's came in, they scored the goal, VAR stopped playing, said we're going to check this result, but that fight's not over. But it just proved, between that and another one that got me recently, and I said this in a speech in Aberdeen last weekend or the weekend before, I said, you need to take hope. 2-3 weeks ago, you say to your pals, I'm going to a protest on Saturday, you coming? Some people say protests don't work. Well, they do work. Look at Eppin. And I'll tell you another victory. The Women Won't Waste organisation in Scotland took the Scottish Government all the way to the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, and they won. And that was a protest movement. And we suddenly realised legally that a man's a man and a woman's a woman. So anybody tells you that protesting doesn't work, go and give your head a shake. Ain't listening anymore. It's an excuse. We don't do excuses. We need to protect our country. I am driven so much by the fact that my generation could be the first generation in modern times that's going to hand over the country in a worse state than it is than we got for our forefathers, and that disgusts me, and that drives me, and I'll do everything I can to get all these events, exposure, numbers, and victories, mate. And it's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? The night we've got you on, we've got YC, we've got Alex, on, we've got Basil on. I'm a Scottish guy. And some people struggle to understand. All my pals come in here, like John and Martian and Alex Kearney and Kevin, stuff like that. But, you know, and but now we're getting you guys in as well, and it's brilliant because we're all in it together, mate. We've had callers in, we Alan from Ballymena comes on regular. We suddenly now realise that we're not that different. Our concerns are the exact same. And I've been in the last 8 weeks, start for the north, Peterhead, Aberdeen, Stirling, Ballymena, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Manchester, London, Dover, Calais, Lesbos. And it's not even just the people in Britain. The people I spoke to in Europe, France and Greece, all get the same concerns, mate. We want to protect our children. We want to protect our kids. We want to protect our females. We are concerned with the numbers and growing illegal migrants unfiltered. We're concerned about the conditions for working people. We're concerned about the lack of social housing. We're concerned about our health service. And we've all got the same concerns. We might talk with different accents, but we're all the same, mate. And I'm loving right now because we're going to win.
100%. I mean, it was solely down. I saw the Tory Council's X page in Eppin saying, "Oh, it was down to us that they managed to appeal and vote against the Bell Hotel," and it got me thinking that it was solely down to the people who was protesting on a daily basis outside the hotel. It wasn't down to the Tory council for trying to get it closed. It was the Tory council who had it open for years before. And yeah, it was solely down. Northampton's another council, Middle England as well. That's appealing 3 of the hotels they've got. So yeah, it's trickling down. The momentum's with us as well. The momentum up and down the country, England, yours as well in Scotland. The momentum's with us. What surprised me as well is the demographic and the types of people at these protests. Young people, elderly people, women in pink is a fantastic idea because you can't really argue with that narrative. And I even seen Sky News doing a little 12-minute video, and I thought, here we go, complete hit piece. And it was semi-fair from Sly News, which did surprise me, but because I think the women in pink is just shattering the narrative that it's shattered my narrative as well.
Is it all the pink ladies?
Because I was
the pink
quite,
ladies?
huh?
Is it not called the pink ladies?
Yeah, I was quite
That's a reference for Greece, isn't it?
huh?
Yeah. Martian, let people speak, please, mate.
Yeah, it's smashing the narrative, the demographic, the type of people. It's happening on some of them are happening in the week, on the weekends as well. The momentum's with us, and I'm with you, Craig. I mean, it's very easy to be very pessimistic about the current state the country's in. It's very easy, and you know we are on life support as a country, but the peasants have always revolted in the end. I mean, go and read a history book. That'll tell you all you need to know. So yeah, I'm with you, Craig. I'm optimistic, and it's going to be a tough battle. Don't get me wrong, but I believe we can win. This is, like I said earlier, like I referred to earlier, it's only a very new phenomenon. I mean, this is only a 40-year problem. We're a country with thousands of years worth of history. I mean, I can trace my name back to the town which I was born in with my second name. It originates from the town that I was born in. We're a country with thousands of years worth of great history, that no other country has really had. We achieved great things for such a tiny island in the middle of the ocean where it just rains all the time. We set up the infrastructure for the modern world. And if anyone wants to argue with that, then go to Spain, and what language is the common language? Go to China, what language is, obviously apart from Chinese, but English is the most understandable, it's the most worldwide spoken language. So we're a country of thousands of years worth of great history. So our decline has only been within my lifetime. So I'm in absolutely no doubt it's going to be a tough battle, but I'm in no doubt we can absolutely turn it around.
Yeah, and the thing we need to do is we need to make sure we have hope, because without hope, you have nothing. So, you know, if we just say, I've heard some people say, it's too late, the battle's lost and all that. Well, okay, where's your Dunkirk spirit? Where is it? Do you know what I mean? Let's just sort shit out. And the protests are working, mate. They're getting results. And listen, see, if nothing else, you know you're getting more people after every protest. Somebody else has learned about the problems. So that's it. That's all we need to do. And somebody said, Lynn's talking about the pink ladies, right? I was in Falkirk on Saturday, and it was funny, right? There was just one of these instantaneous moments that happened. The lefties started putting on their tunes, and I can't remember what the tune was, but it was a nice wee joyful party tune, right? An instant, everybody on their side of the street just started dancing. Right, and I got some footage of it, and it was really, really funny. And there was 3 women there, and one of them had the Union Jack with the pink ladies on it, and they all had their pink t-shirts on. And I was like, what's that, your flag? She went, it's pink ladies. I was like, what's that? She went, it's just us, just women, trying to get out in the street and make some noise and show folk that it's no bald football hooligan looking males in their 40s and 50s. And I was like, that is class. And obviously, I don't know if it's a national network or it's just people just spontaneously, this whole thing's evolving organically, but it's absolutely wonderful. And the fun, and there was kids, and it was just that where nobody went like, let's go have a dance, right? The whole crowd just started dancing. And I was like, this is a community again. That's what we've been missing, is communities. Anyway, I'm waffling on. There's Sandra again with the super stickers. Thanks very much, Sandra. That's most obliged. And you know what I do with the super stickers. That buys my equipment, and the money that comes in to buy me a coffee, I use that for my travels. So there's a wee bit in the kitty for my next trip already, because the boss was the first time I put the money, the buy me a coffee up, thinking if I get 300 or 400 quid, it would be nice. And he's actually covered the costs of the whole trip. Plus, there's about 400 or 500 quid that's sitting there in a separate account now for my trips. So I'm really, really grateful for all the support these guys are giving me. It's fun. And, you know, that's, and again, my wages, if you want to call it that, come from YouTube. They pay me for adverts, but, you know, it doesn't cost anybody anything. So when people do put money in, I kind of think it's only fair that I let them know that I'm doing with it, and it's not just going into my back pocket to pay my card payments and my heating bills, right? The YouTube adverts do that now.
You mean you're not a member of the Labour Party?
I'm not a member of the Labour Party.
Fill in your back pockets.
By the way, I got asked to. When I first said I was going to stand for election at Holyrood 26, I got about 4 or 5 parties came, and the first one was the Labour Party. Right? I was like, what? They went, here you want to stand for election. Do you want to be a candidate for us? And I went, why would you not ask me if I like your party first and your policies? I'm like, well, you can get you elected. They didn't care. And all these parties, and a lot of them smaller parties, I've actually got, you know, a good thoughts about. None of them done either. They were just like, oh, there's a guy with, you know, a half decent YouTube following, and he wants to be an MSP. Do you want to be a candidate for us? And I'm like, nobody. The only party that asked me about if I liked their politics was the one that I joined, and that was the SDP. And
you've got to remember, from the Labour Party's perspective, they're just getting rid of a problem if you become one of them, because you can't talk openly anymore, according to them. Democratically elected or not, you obey their rules.
Aye, that's that. Somebody put a question that I've not highlighted.
I got a couple of questions in my back pocket.
Crack on, Bobby.
Have the NHS up here done the announcement that the English NHS did, that if you didn't go in on a particular website or send to a particular email address, that they would be free to sell your medical data?
Not to my knowledge.
I maybe need to ask the question when there's more folk there. That actually happened down south. So that the NHS down south is selling people's medical data, and most people didn't even realise it was going on. Number of folk I told you need to go in and do this if you want to stop it happening. Wouldn't they listen? The other question is the Bank of England's attempt to, or discussions at initial.
I've got a question. Can I make money if I sell my data?
Martian, you can ask any question you like, but stop interrupting people, right? Please. I know you've had a wee wine and you're all excited because you've got your tunes blaring in the background, right? But please.
Sorry, man. I didn't know how to put my hand up in here.
You don't need to put your hand up, mate. You can just talk when there's a gap. But let Bobby finish, please. You're doing that too much, okay? Sorry, Bobby.
No, that's okay. No, so the Bank of England were talking about doing a digital pound. And again, the paper that they were doing for that, everybody was given the opportunity to go in and say, not happy about this. But of course, instead of saying, well, assume you're not going to be happy, they assumed you'd be happy. So you had to go in and say, no, I'm not happy about this. And from people who'd had discussions with them, that I heard talking about it, the idea of the digital currency, the big problem with that is kind of bizarre, because you go in and everything you get paid in digital sterling, just like Bitcoin. And the only problem then was, as a question that was asked of him was, have you ever considered the concept of timed currency? What do you mean? I said, well, if my wages are getting paid in every month, I can obviously save my wages, and well, that might not actually be the case, because if you haven't spent the money that you got off your company by the end of the month, it might be timed and put out as being valueless. So you lose your wages. You got to spend your wages, basically, which is another way of them going, we can tie these people down now because they can't save.
It's crazy, isn't it? I'm just going to the comments here. Sugar Pie saying, can you make a digital flyer for the Glasgow protest, the way people can share it and promote it? See, if you go onto Twitter, John's Bring the Noise _X, he's got one there, but just share the life with it. Michelle is saying, I've just got handed your book, Craig. VC's The Sun's One. I'm now got to read it. Well, let me know how you got on with it, Michelle, because I don't know if you listened to the space I done with Basil this last night, where he was talking about the book for about 4 hours. I've never read it. I didn't write it. It's got me as the author, and it's my story, but it was a journalist that wrote it as a ghostwriter, and the book was meant to come out the week that my dad got told he had days to live, so we didn't. We held it back for a week. And it's obviously my sort of life, not my life story, but I was doing a lot of campaigning back 10 years ago, and this 3 years of my life is the story. But it starts off as a kid and explains a lot of stuff. And obviously my dad comes up in that a lot, so I've tried a few times to read it. I've never managed to read it. I do know what's in it, because Basil always tells me the stories in it. And when the guy was writing it, after he'd done 3 or 4 chapters, he would give me a copy of it. So I have read it, but I've just never read it in its finished format. So hope you enjoy it, Michelle, and please let me know if you like. The pictures are quite good. I've looked at them, in fact. See up there? That was actually the books that are up there are all books of people that I've interviewed, and that's it. That's all I've got. That was a thing that they sent me as a sample of the book cover, the front cover, and I don't even have a copy of the main book, but I've got a load of them in storage that I'll need to go and get a box, because somebody was selling them. I sold them at the start to get recouped the costs of the print and all that, so it was all done. And then any money that came after that, I kind of put into my kids' football club that I started. I took 500 quid out of the book one Christmas because I didn't have a pot to piss in. And Christmas was coming and I had 2 weddings. That's all I've ever made out of the book. And somebody said to me about a month ago, there was a guy selling the book on Amazon at 40 quid. And I don't know where he got them, right? And I thought, no, bugger that. So I put up on my Buy Me a Coffee page, there's a shop thing there. And I stuck about a box worth of them. I think it was like 24 in the box, and I stuck them up there, and a few people bought them. I think it was about 5 or 6. But that was a book. It was funny. We spoke about it last night in a space with Basil, and it's nuts because I can't remember half the stories that or the capers that we get up to. So anyway, I digress. We've got a new. So that's not a new person. He's been in before. Just come to the stage now. Alan, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Craig. How are you doing? Can you hear me? Okay.
Not bad, mate. Hear you loud
Craig,
and clear,
on that note, I'm jumping off, my friend. I will be seeing you on September 13th and September 20th, so I look forward to it, my friend.
Superb, mate. Eddie, thanks very much for coming on.
Yeah, always a pleasure,
welcome,
Craig.
buddy.
Cheers,
Take
mate.
care, buddy.
Take it easy. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers, then.
Hi, Alan.
How's things, Craig?
Average.
Hi. I was actually at a council meeting tonight, so there's been a lot happening for us really since March. You've been instrumental in helping us. It's been a big bit of a fight, and I'm definitely coming down on the 20th. The last month or so, I've just been relaxing, and I've had other stuff to deal with. So, but it seems a lot of things are starting to take shape now.
See, just before you go on, Alan, obviously I know your story, I know exactly what you're talking about, but just to let people know that are not up to speed with it, we're talking about a campaign in East End of Glasgow where the local residents were concerned about an old folks home that had been shut for a couple of years, Alan, had it been shut?
2018, I believe. So
Aye,
7
maybe a
years
bit
now.
longer, I thought. Aye, and the concerns were it was going to get turned into an asylum hotel. So all I'd done, you're saying I'm instrumental, I turned up one day with a camera and took some footage of it and just gave it a platform so more people were talking about it. And I went round and I spoke to some of the local residents. None of them were wanting to come on camera, but they told me their stories and I was able to relay them. So kind of that's where my connection with it was finished. You know, I didn't do anything super duper. But what's happened since then, mate, that people can hear how this campaign's getting on? Because again, it's a campaign with people in communities, just, you know, when they've got issues, shouting out. And it's been fantastic to watch as an observer. So if you want to take the story up for there.
So basically, in 2022, it got some sort of legal certificate that it was legal to house asylum seekers. Now, nobody really seemed to know about this in the area. I've only moved into the area in maybe the last year, so I never knew about it. So obviously I found all this out. This goes back to a case in Castlemilk in 2019. There's a disused care home up there, and whoever owned the care home tried to get permission, put in a planning permission or whatever to house asylum seekers. There was 600 objections. The council refused it, and whoever that owned the care home appealed to the Scottish Government. The Scottish Government then stepped in and overruled the council and gave that care home in Castlemilk legal permission to house asylum seekers. So fast forward to 2022, that case was used for the care home where I stay. So everything went quiet on it. I found out the guy had renovated the full building, put toilets in it, spent quite a good bit of money in it, and then it all flared up again in March. And that's when I get involved, and I've been attending all the meetings. Now, my concern was there's 250 care homes all over Scotland, which are all lying empty. Now, my concern was this was going to be a domino effect, and if they jump from one care home to another and use this legal certificate or whatever, there's lots of rural areas. It was just going to get moved all over the place. So I was being quite involved in the meetings, and basically the latest update is it went to planning. It already had legal permission to house asylum seekers. The owner then wanted to extend that to include homeless people and refugees. Now, if you know what's happening in Glasgow, to me, the homeless situation is flooded. It's really overwhelmed with asylum seekers. Sometimes I don't think the word asylum seekers is the right word, because it's easy for people to say, oh, you're racist, you're against asylum seekers. Really, the issue is illegal immigrants. This is the elephant in the room. And people, we know what's happening all over. We know why protests are happening. We know a lot of these men are doing bad things and getting, in many cases, convicted. So, anyway, so this went through the planning, and in my head, I thought the council stance was, even if they get the legal certificate to extend that to refugees and homeless people, we're still not going to get permission. That was the stance of the council. So I genuinely thought the decision was going to be granted, but then the council weren't going to allow it. That was what the stance was. By my amazement, the council rejected the latest planning application. The planning officer seemed to get right into the past and into the title deeds when that was built in, when was it? 2000 and maybe 1998 or two. I can't remember the exact date. Let's just say 1998. And apparently there was a term put on that building that it can only be restricted to be used as a nursing home. So it's been rejected basically, and it looks now that massive result. It looks like I spoke to one of the councillors tonight at the end of the meeting, and it looks like for him to do anything now, he need to bulldoze that and get planning permission. But it doesn't look like he's got any legal permission to use that for either asylum seekers homeless people or refugees, and that's all the community wanted. So
brilliant.
It's massive. We got the decision, and I think it was during the 20th, and I couldn't believe it. And it's been quite a stressful 3 or 4 months dealing with all this. So for the last month, I was just kind of unwinding, and I hadn't been following things as much. But you'll know yourself, Craig, being based in Glasgow, there's a lot of alarming things happening with statistics, and it's just, I feel now things are changing where people are now not scared to talk about it, and they're seeing what's happening like down in England. And my personal opinion is, a year ago when there was an incident, we all know the big incident that happened in England, and then a lot of people started getting arrested and things like that, and quite heavy sentences, which I felt in many cases were unjustified. And I think now everybody's now not scared to stand up and speak out about certain things. And I think people are scared. I know if you're speaking to my friends and that, because of their jobs or whatever, we're living in a kind of era of fear, really, and everybody's being controlled, really, to not speak out about certain things. But I think something is changing massively now, and you're seeing it everywhere now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling it as well, Alan. I've been very fortunate. I've been able to get around about the country and go to a lot of protests, and been humbled and honoured that I've been asked to speak at a few of them. And I keep telling folk, this is winnable now. But the tide is turning. I can feel it. I can see it in front of me. We're starting to get results. Yous have just pulled another cracking result, because if yous hadn't opened your mouths about this as a community, okay, the legislation shouldn't have allowed them, but they would have found a way of overlooking it. But now, thankfully, there's a loophole saying you can't do it. They would never have found that loophole if the people in the community had never spoke up, mate. So well played to you, and it's just another victory that I can talk about when I'm going and try to inspire people to, no give up across the country.
I speak to many people, Craig, right? And there was one day I was outside the care home. It was way back maybe April, and a man walked by, and he wasn't from the area, and he says, "Oh, is that the care home?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Oh, I watch Craig Houston. That's how I know about this situation." And it's brilliant what you're doing, Craig, but it's sad as well that the only voice that's getting heard for communities is people like yourself. It's like the whole media system is, it feels like it's designed to suppress people's views, and then if people have opinions about things are far right, or we all know, I think all the tactics are starting to work now, basically. And it's I feel there's a big change happening, 100%.
No, it's brilliant. I'm quite humbled with your words there, mate. But and when I go out and about, people recognise me now, and it's quite humbling. It's quite strange, right? It's loads of weird things. When people stop you and say, "How are you doing, Craig?" Want to shake your hand, pat you in the back, and say, "I watch your videos, brilliant, keep it up." But what happened in Falkirk was really bizarre. The amount of people, it was like loads, right? And I was like, this is nuts. And if you think about it, anybody that's seen me there and went, "Oh, that's that guy with the videos," they didn't all come up and say hello. So you go, well, how many people out of 10 come up and say hello? Is it 1 out of 10? Is it 2 out of 10? Because that means there's 5 times or 10 times the amount of people that come up and said hello that are actually watching. And it was just mental, mate. It was just like, and folk asking for selfies, right? I'm like, I'm 52, right? I've got a forehead the size of Clyde Tunnel. But it was just really, really, really humbling. Do you know what I mean? That you're thinking, well, mate, if I've inspired, I was up at Peterhead, right? And there's a guy came up after I spoke, and he went, "Craig, enjoyed your speech, and just to let you know, I love your channel. I came here specifically when I heard you were talking." And I said, "Oh, where is it you're from?" And he said a name, and I was like, "Oh, that's up north somewhere. It can't be that far." I said, "Oh, that's good. It's local." And he went, "I drove 4 hours to hear you speak today."
Wow.
And you're like, "What? No, you didn't." Aye. And that's mental, right? Because I'm just a normal geezer. But if that's what I need to do and that's my role and all this, then that's my role. I take it. I'll take the responsibility for that. And even today, I don't know if you were on earlier when I was talking about it, I was away meeting a guy that's quite a well-known personality that was wanting to help me. So I went to his house, and over the weekend, 2 people had messaged me about one particular hotel in the outskirts of Glasgow. And I was only about 10-15 minutes away from it, so I jumped after the meeting, headed over there. And it turned out I walked in, had my lunch in the place. The place is still operating as a normal hotel. But spoke to a mate on the way back. He's like, oh, that was a waste of time for you. I says, it wasn't a waste of time, because now I can tell these people, don't be concerned about your community. That hotel is not. Now, there might be something else in that community that made people think, but I was there, they were taking bookings for rooms, I had my lunch in the place, the bar was open, it was busy, it was, it was a well-supported business, so it wouldn't make sense for that to turn into an asylum hotel. But there might be something else there that's made people think, well, there's loads of extra guys that we're walking about or whatever, that we'll keep going. And I'll respond to almost any that somebody told me about the Erskine Hotel. That did have a big problem before, and there was loads of protests, and eventually they emptied that. It started operating as normal again. But somebody put a comment on today that there's fears that is starting to get reintroduced. Well, that's fine. It's 20-25 minutes for me. I'll make sure over the next few weeks I'll go up there, and if it means it costs me a coffee and a lunch, I'll go in and investigate these places, So I appreciate what you're saying, mate. There's a comment come in here that I just want to talk about, saying, Craig, are you still going to Edinburgh in the 6th? I don't think Kev is going. I had stated earlier that I was going to Edinburgh on Saturday. I was asked to talk at Edinburgh, but unfortunately there was a misunderstanding. When I was asked if I was talking or not, and I said, yeah, I'd accepted the offer to talk. I thought it was kicking off at 12 o'clock, and I've got something in my personal life that means I would need to have left there about 1. Unfortunately, it is starting at 12, but the speaking part isn't starting at 12, and I was like, I can't go and no talk and just disappear. So I'm unfortunately, because of the misunderstanding by the time, it isn't starting at 12. People have to meet at 12, but the thing doesn't start at 12. I just can't do it, because I thought it was 12. I made plans for something that would mean I need to leave at 1, something in my private life. And unfortunately, I can't do that. I'm a bit gutted. I don't know about Kev. We need to ask Kev about that, but I just want to make sure, checking. I still been sharing the stuff for them. I hope they get a great turnout, and I'm happy to. In fact, one of the organisers was on the show the other night to give him a bit of platform to try and increase his numbers. So if you're going to Edinburgh, I hope you have a great day. Unfortunately, just one of these things. It's I thought it was starting at 12. Maybe get on about 12:30, do my bit and got up the road, but it just wasn't to be. So that's what it is, unfortunately. So Alan, I'm glad I'm probably going to pull the show to a close now. That's been over 3 years we've been at it. But I'm glad we've been able to finish on a decent high note there, mate. That's been fantastic. So when did you get all this confirmed, mate?
Well, tonight was the first community council meeting since the decision was made. So I think the last community council meeting was the first week in June, if I remember right, and then it shuts down for recess or whatever for 3 months. So we got the decision. I got it by email on I think it was the 20th of June, and tonight was the first council meeting. So these council meetings are all right, but they go on about different things like hedges, and it's not just like all about the care home. So I spoke to 1 or 2 of the councillors at the end, and I went through the decision with a fine tooth comb, and I was convinced legally they now don't have a leg to stand on. So even if the Home Office, the stand for the council was, if it gets permission, we're not going to allow it. But personally, I didn't want it to have any legal status. So I didn't want to just trust me, bro, it's not going to happen type of thing. I wasn't comfortable with that. So I did ask the councillors tonight. I says, look, there's a term in the planning decision. It's like some legal term. It says, notwithstanding, this has to be restricted for use as a nursing home. So I think when that was given, my argument was, if that was an empty bit of land, you've seen the land yourself, Craig, if that was an empty bit of land, that would never have got planning permission from scratch to be built for an asylum, hotel, or even a homeless accommodation, because it's quite a tight space. It's close to gardens, it's close. See what else I realise, Craig? If you come into the wee estate where I stay, Hogarth, you can get in
is
there.
that new back to the right?
Aye.
See, if I'm looking at it for Edinburgh Road into the right, I did go down there, mate.
Aye, in there, right. So you
Spoke to
can
a couple of your
walk
neighbours.
down there. You can walk down there, and there's a wee shortcut. It takes you down to Carntine Road. Basically, there's a wee park there, and
There's
right at
also a
that,
nursery down that side.
there's a nursery. There's a nursery within
Aye.
about a 3-minute walk for there, 4-minute walk. And then, and this was silly me, I was thinking, right, maybe whoever gets put in this place, if they did, they'll not know about that shortcut. But then I'm thinking, wait a minute, these guys have came from wherever, like God knows how many thousand miles to get here. They're going to find a shortcut 3 minutes away. So to me, that was another big red flag, was the nursery, which was so close and could be reached within 3 or 4 minutes. So, aye, but it's been massive.
Aye, when I got there, the day I've done the video to Carntine, basically you've got Edinburgh Road, which is one of the sort of main artery roads in and out of Glasgow, and it sits on it. So the front of it is onto this main road. Opposite that, there's houses right across from it. To this side here, there's quite a new, where you live, maybe 10, 20-year-old estate here. On the other side, again, you've got the older sort of houses built maybe the 50s, 60s time. They're here, and then at the back there's houses, and there's a nursery school, quite a busy nursery school. I drove round there to get my bearings, and I was like, that almost backs onto it. I think I could see the fence to what was the care home higher up, and you're like, it's nuts, isn't it? If there was one place you wouldn't put a lot of potentially unvetted males, because listen, there are, I think 80 to 90% of the people that come over as asylum seekers, just by some bizarre freak of nature, are fighting age men without their partners or families. But there are some that come over that are by women and families, right? Now, when I went to Cali, there was one scene in the video where I must have seen 1,000 people. They're all waiting to get one of the dinghies to come here, and I saw 3 women. And that'll give an idea of the sort of numbers here. But there are some. So if it was going to house and you knew it was just going to house mothers and children, for example, then that's a whole different prospect. But the problem we've got is because the vast majority are fighting age single men, then they get dispersed into their communities, and that inevitably leads to issues, because we've all seen stories, particularly Falkirk. That one hotel in Falkirk had 3 criminal cases in a short period of time, including a 31-year-old man, believe it or not, being abused, and 2 young girls. And that ain't normal in that small space. So it creates issues for communities. And when you don't know what you're getting, it's a coin toss, and it's, you're likely you've got an 8 or 9 out of 10 chance that if you land with one in your doorstep, it's going to be the fighting age single guys, because they make 8 or 9 out of 10 of the people that are coming here. It's a concern. And he just wouldn't put it there. That was the one that struck me, especially when I found the nursery school running at the back here, and I thought, you couldn't do that with consciousness. Let your conscience bother you if you were a councillor that made that decision. But they don't care. On a side topic here, a bit of a side topic, anyone seen Scotland's ministers giving 400k to Gaza and another 600k to the UN to help with Gaza? Do we need this tax money to help our own people in Scotland? I think that might be the stuff that I got Freedom Informations when Humza was the first minister, mate. And it was 750,000 in total, a 500,000 and a 250,000. And one of them, he overturned the minister's decision because they wanted to give it to UNICEF for water, and he demanded an extra £50,000 and decided he was going to give it to UNRWA. And purely, obviously, just as a consequence of that and coincidence, 24, 48 hours later, his in-laws managed to get safe passage out of Gaza. And I'm sure those two things are not connected in any way whatsoever. So listen, Alan, thanks very much for coming up and giving us a bit of a good news story. It's much obliged, and don't be a stranger and keep us up to date what's going on. And
thanks for the help as well, Craig. It's really appreciated. Even you see how much things have changed. Like even in the last month, things are moving rapid now. But back in March, it felt a more lonely place to fight things, whereas it feels now like people are becoming more united now, and there's movement everywhere now, especially in England, but starting to see it in Scotland as well. And
great.
it's like,
honest to God, mate, she's seen that Scots are now taking the fight as well. It's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And it's not all about asylum seekers, by the way. It's not any community issue that communities have got problems with. Get out and get in about it. And the only people that have really protested with any sort of degree of consistency my whole life have been the mad lefties, whatever it is they want to protest about this week, because it's something different every week. And I kind of think that's what's going on with the psyche with them as well. They're like, well, how dare these other people be protesting? They don't actually care. There's an example with what happened tonight while John was on. John's put out a statement saying there's going to be this thing in Glasgow. He's not said what it's about yet, right? He's drip feeding the stuff in. And there's tonight the Stop Racism, Stand Up to Racism people. Yeah, we need to counter protest to get out against the far right on the 20th of September. Now, nobody's even said what the protest's about, but they've decided it's the far right and they're going to have a counter protest. So that just shows you how nuts they are. They're having a counter protest when they don't know what they're countering. And their psyche's burst. They don't know how to cope. They're running about stupid. They're having emergency meetings and all that because they can't cope with all these things going on in Scotland at the one time. So get it right up them. That's all I'm saying. And we can make differences, and we can make a difference without. We don't need them. People say we need to unite everybody. No, you don't. You need to unite enough. And we're getting there. Believe me, I can see it. I can sense it every protest I go to. And it's no far right. It's some of the people I'm meeting, you couldn't even consider them right of centre politically. They just know the difference between right and wrong, and they've had enough. There's so many things that are two governments in Scotland have let us down with, that there's so many people frustrated, and they're now getting a platform, and I'm absolutely loving it. Long may it continue, mate, and well done. I'm delighted, honestly. And if me coming out and doing a 10-minute video in your community helped in any way with your endeavours, which I think you're overplaying my part. The community really stood up on that issue, and I'm buzzing for you, mate. I'm buzzing that you've got what you deserve. Well done.
Brilliant. And I'll be doing the 20th as well, Craig. So I look forward to it.
Mind come up and say hello, Alan, so I can shake your hand and say well done properly. All right. So, guys, that was another phenomenal night. We've been at it nearly 3.5 hours. I can't believe the amount of people we're getting coming up. This was just a daft notion I had. I like X Spaces, and I wanted to sort of do X Spaces on YouTube. And the figures, I think we've had about 4,000 people in over the course of the night watching at least part of the video on YouTube, and about 600 on my Twitter. So that's fantastic. And so it's working, the format's working, and I love it. And it's a lonely night when it's just me and a couple of pals in, so I'm loving the fact that we're getting folk up like LX, she's for Liverpool, Eddie phoning in, he's further down south than that. We've got Basil, who's northeast England, coming in. So it's not even just about Scotland. So it's absolutely brilliant, guys, and I'm loving it. So I still don't know. I always said at the start I would do 4 of them and see what the reception's been like, and it's great. So I'll keep doing them. I said at the start I would probably want to do like a set night, say it was Thursday at 7 o'clock or whatever. And it's never worked out that way. My life's a bit hectic. And I kind of just like randomly go with an hour's notice, phone a couple of pals up to make sure I've got at least one person to talk to, and then we just go for there. And it's generally about an hour's notice, and I get them passed out. So maybe we might eventually set that we have them on a set day and a set time, but they're quite organic and they're doing all right. So I do appreciate everybody that's supporting and enjoying them. And one thing I really like is I watch these comments. I don't see them all. It's impossible because there's thousands of them, but I kind of try to keep my eye on them. And I can see just there's a wee community growing there, and the names, you get to know the names, and you're having wee side chats, and it's brilliant. So thanks to all these for listening to my dulcet tones for 3.5 hours, and everybody else that's joined in. Thanks very much, folks. And as I say at the end of all my videos, unless you're the type of person that doesn't understand the feelings of the great British people, the vast majority of them, and want to write off their concerns as far right, then not you, but everybody else. Have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.